Eric White, are you ready for tonight?
I am ready. However, StreamYard looks like there's an issue with the stream on Drag Drive Repeat. Just a heads up.
Of course. Of course. We have the coolest two guests ever, and we're going to struggle there. But we'll fix that as we go along here. Guys, welcome to episode 139 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. Tonight, we've got Chris Wozniak on to talk about Sick Week and the Track Buddy app. This is going to be awesome. I'm not saying that this is the Track Buddy app helped him get to his personal best, but that's probably what really happened, to be honest with you. Plus, the last hour of the show is going to be, well, probably the last hour and a little bit more. It's going to be with Keith Turk, talking about 20 plus years of drag and drive history. I have here in my notes, rulemaking and ball breaking. Dude, that's what this guy does. It's awesome. We were talking to him before the show, and he is in a great headspace. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we have a lot of stories from his history coming up here in just a minute. Mr. Eric, will you hit the intro and let's do this thing?
All right, let's go.
All right, guys, like I said, welcome to episode 139 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. Tonight's a good one, dude. I'm really excited to get into this. My name is Mike Narks. I'm the host of this show and the news that happens on Saturday mornings. This is where you're going to get your drag and drive news and entertainment right here, especially tonight with all the stuff we got going on. Mr. Eric White, tell them what you got going on, dude.
I am Eric White, co-host of the show and the news. Typically, photos are my thing, but right now, it's all artwork. So the circuit racer cards are going out. Some other circuit artwork is being created. So that's kind of what I've been up to as of recently.
Yeah, man, it's been wild. I want to say thank you to everybody that's in the chat this morning or this evening as well. Appreciate you guys popping in here. And, dude, we can't do this without our race car friends. So I'm asking you, please, please, please hit the share button as we jump in here. This is going to be a good show, as we cannot do this without you. You guys are awesome. I can't tell you enough how much I love you guys and appreciate everybody that's out there that does this with us. Thank you to our sponsors. Also, if you guys are shopping and you are looking for some stuff, we've got that Summit Racing. They're our title sponsor here at the show and news and at the circuit, and the Drag and Drive Awards, which happens at PRI. They're all of our big title sponsors there. So if you're shopping, hit them up. We've got an affiliate link that's at the top of our Facebook page, or go to dragdriverpete.com and you can click on any Summit logo or word in there that says Summit Racing. Takes you right there through our affiliate link. Deechworks, man, official fuel delivery of Drag Driver Pete, DDR10 for a 10% discount on all of your fuel system needs. Molly Motorsports, best pistons in the game. Driven Racing Oil. If your stuff does this, they have something that'll keep it doing that, I promise. Okay. Driven Racing Oil, also DDR10, 10% discount over there as well. Dude, the comments are flying tonight, man. Appreciate you guys. Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, Avco Racing Products, Performer Built Transmissions, and Car Chains 3D. Dude, we can't do without all these folks. PowerTube TV, you guys can find this show later on that, plus a bunch of exclusive stuff over there. WAF Racing, who is coincidentally on tonight as well with Chris Wozniak. Sweet Patina, best hand cleaning wipes in the market. I say that all the time, but they also have plenty of stuff for your car care products and some super cool shirts. And Racing Junk Classifieds, the official buy-sell trade of Drag Driver Pete. Eric does a great job putting cars together that are in the drag and drive segment that Racing Junk put together. So we do that on Saturday mornings within the news. Well, let's listen to the sweet, buttery tone of Mr. Brian Loans talking about Summit Racing.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Man, tons of comments over here. Appreciate everybody doing that for sure. Appreciate everybody at Summit too, man. Those guys have been awesome. Do you see some of the Brandon Dollar stuff this week? They featured him after Sick Week in a video. That was pretty cool. Summit's always taking care of all of us guys out here.
But did you see this comment?
Dude, what the heck?
So cool story, boys. Popped a bicep at work today doing the equivalent of picking up an 18-pound cat. So how many days to the circuit?
Feline cat. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, we're going to talk about the circuit here in a minute, but I'll give you a hint, 71 days.
Yeah.
And,
Joe got his Waffle House fix, so I'm ready for tonight.
Bring it on. That's awesome, man. Joe and I were messaging the other day. He was telling some fun stories about Keith Turk, who'll be on the show a little bit later. Let's talk about drag and drive. Or sorry, go ahead there. Oh, hey,
no, I was just gonna
Dan
say,
Chandler, buddy.
Yeah, our last comment here. Our race weight member here, Dan Chandler, live from the treadmill. So keep going. It's been awesome so far.
Yeah, we're going long tonight. Dan, you better get your comfortable shoes on. Drag driver Pete updates, man. Let's jump into this real quick because it's been kind of crazy. So I thought I would put together just a photo that would show the 5 events we have and some dates. So I'll be posting this up here soon. I will tell you guys, I'm working diligently on the short circuit, but dadgummit, can't get a call back from a track that I really want to do this at. But this kind of gives you guys an idea of the dates and all this stuff. So the 4 there that are already announced for dates, those are all at Tulsa Raceway Park as the host track. The short circuit, we are going somewhere else, but I've got like some 2 or 3 tracks in the hopper. Just need to get locked down. I got one kind of right at the top of what I want and can't get a call back, but that's okay. It's still February and we got plenty of time. That event doesn't happen until the end of October or early November.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. Up next, we've been helping out the Hot Rods by Havlik Fastest Streetcar Shootout, and I've started yesterday and the day before actually sending out individual invitations to the top 100 drag and drive racers in history. So if you are one of those guys, you're going to get a message from me, whether it be text or email or Facebook Messenger. So if you are in there and you run, you ready for this? 790 or quicker in a week-long drag and drive event, and you finished, you're going to get an email or a message from me, I promise. So it's coming. I'm just trying to not get just completely kicked from Facebook Messenger. So I kind of rolling those out a little slow so it doesn't just hammer me. But I'm getting a ton of stuff back. Just want to say Joe Barry, didn't know if you guys saw that. He replied with a video back that he's driving along with the Linko in the car. So that's kind of exciting. Said he's going to be at the event. So that's awesome. Matt Frost posted a photo with 8-inch bull horns on the Hulk. Did you see that? Dude, that was hilarious. I don't think that's really what's going to happen, but we'll see. He is going twin turbos on that car. Did you hear that? From Pro Charger on the direct drive mount on the front to twins on that car. So that'll be kind of cool. And then one of our favorite Canadians, Mr. Matt Blasco, said that he could be peer pressured into coming. So he said that Snafu Rich Bellman has been kind of needling at him to come. And he's like, man, I just need to buckle down and do it. So let's keep needling Matt Blasco and get him to come to Hot Rods by Havlik's the Fastest Streetcar Shootout. And then Clark Rosenstengel is registered. And then again, there's more invitations going out tomorrow. I've gotten through about 40 of them, I think is the number, that 41 or something like that. So that should be pretty awesome. And then last up for the drag driver Pete stuff is I make a cameo appearance in Tom Bagley's video. If you guys haven't seen it, Bags 96, BAGZ 96 on YouTube or TB Racing, you can watch it. It's an hour and a half of pure American hot rodding. That's all I'm going to say. It's his experience at Sick Week. There's like a rotating seat in the passenger side of like different people coming in and out. And dude, incredible editing with it. He did a really, really good job. It's truly like I don't know, we're seeing this like next level of video. People aren't trying to put out 6-minute videos. They're trying to put out 90-minute videos, which is what this one was. I enjoyed it a bunch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Having a good time with that one. The circuit, man, we joked about this just a minute ago, but tell us how many days?
Yeah. You said 71 days, which is not a lot, but do you know how many weekend days that is?
I have no idea.
That is 10 weekends, which means you have 20 weekend days to get your stuff ready for the Circuit 2026.
Man, does that scare anyone else? Like,
I'm not even racing, and it scares me.
Yeah, the major stuff is put together, so that's the easy stuff. Like everything that's hard for me as the promoter is done, right? So that helps. But dude, I need to start driving this old truck because my brother's going to be taking it.
Yeah,
like I got to make sure that thing's ready to go. So yeah, 71 days, kind of wild to think we are that close. We do still have some road trip spots available, and again, that is our first level of wait list, mainly because I want to test your fortitude. Were you going to come anyways? Are you going to come and enjoy it, or are you just going to use it as an excuse that, oh, I didn't get in? But with the road trip, you can come, and road trippers are going to get early and discounted racer registration in 2027. So it's kind of like this, pay it forward type deal. And the road trip is going to be insane because our boy, Camp Counselor Bob, is going to be running the Loves Travel Stops sponsored Camp Counselor program and the road trip program. So he'll be kind of helping park, and those maps will be out in the next couple of days for both tracks that we'll be at. This is going to be fun. We started this last year. Loves Travel Stops has a perfect location as you come into Oklahoma City. There's one right along the route we're going to end up taking that they have a full shower and everything in there, so you can get on the list. We've got the same deal we worked out last year, so big shout out to our Loves contact who is providing like free showers. We're going to have snacks and drinks and all the kind of late night stuff because we want the campers to have the same experience as like the hotel stays, right? The hotel stays have always been a parking lot party, but anytime I've camped, you pull in and it's completely quiet, dark, nobody's doing anything. So Robert Voss, Camp Counselor Bob, the creator of the Great American Detour, is going to be doing the camping festivities for us this year. Again, had a great time with him last year, and everybody just raved about how much fun it was going to be. And so this is going to be fun. Just wanted to give a big shout out to him and to Loves Travel Stops. Oh, man.
Chris here saying 71 days, no engine in the car, no trans, and building a new rear end. Crazy.
Yeah, dude, you have 10 weekends. 10 weekends. So get ready. He's smiling on backstage. I can only imagine the stress he's under. Is this going to be another situation like what we put our boys, the Nelsons, in, where he shouldn't be on tonight? He should be working on the car. Maybe he could go work on the car until we call him. He's got about 20 minutes until we do that. So we've got some fun pictures. Of course, he finished second in DYO at Sick Week, which is freaking incredible. I have 96 cars. And then we're going to talk about some of that here in just a little bit. So 71 days. How many weekend days did you say?
20 weekend days, 10 weekends.
Bro, that's insane.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
When you start thinking about it, what everybody says, like the hour a day makes things happen. You only have 70 hours. Like, I know that sounds like a really long time, but if you worked on that every day for a full-time job, that's a week and a half, 2 weeks. There's a lot of people in here that couldn't get their car built in 2 weeks. So get that on your mind, guys. All right. Tell us about some driven updates, sir.
All right, well, let's play this video and then we'll talk about it.
Hey, it's Brandon from Fort Smith, Arkansas here. Driven Racing Oil is a performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application. Whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing the limits in top-fueled drag boats and demo derbies, winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cleaning and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil and enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance.
Tommy says he's waiting on parts from me.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris is probably stressing out just a little bit.
Yep. All right. So event updates. This one's kind of cool. Lights Out 17 is on Amazon Prime tonight. How cool is that?
Yeah, don't leave here to go watch that because you can watch it later. But I was watching a little bit before the show, and right as I went to close the computer to walk out here, a pro mod had put it in the wall. So I think that's probably going to be the story of the day over there. I hope not, anyways. But they kind of tagged both walls. So good luck to them, man. That SGMP is insane.
Yeah, pretty cool to be able to watch that on Amazon Prime, though, for sure.
Yep, I've been watching the live stream from NC Pro Modder and our good friends that Track channel. Gary there has started live streaming stuff, multiple camera angles, all that kind of stuff. So that's cool to see him out there doing that.
Yep. So on to some Drag and Drive news, events that have open registration right now. Southeast Street Yeet, and big shout out to Rich. This is a cool design he's got right here.
Agreed.
Which he's going to have shirts for sale, which is going to be pretty cool, but I dig that. So Street Yeet registration is open right now, so you can go register for that. Also open registration Back to the Streets. So if you're interested in Back to the Streets, head over there, get registered for that. Buckeye Skips also has open registration right now, who was in the comments just a little bit ago in here, so appreciate you hanging out with us. I-57 Drag and Drive also has open registration right now. And last but not least, East Coast Drag and Drive open registration. So those are the events right now that you can go over and get registered for. If any of those are in your neighborhood or anything that interests you, go get registered for those ones.
Yeah, so I messaged with Skip from Buckeye Skips earlier, and he said that there's only about 25 spots left. So hurry up. And I think Back to the Streets has less than that.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many mats that he's taken, but I think he has less than that. And that should be a fun one too. You know, weekend Drag and Drive, Brown County. Do I have to say any more? Brown County Dragway.
Right. Drop the Hammer 2026. Registration is open for that as well.
Dang. Yep. Sorry, Carl.
Yeah, because that opened, was that Saturday when we were doing the show?
Yep.
Yep. So, I mean, how many is that right there? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different events that you can go right now and register for.
So for the people that use that as an excuse, get out of here. We're tired of hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. And then are these ones that you have listed here sold out already?
No, those are registrations that are opening up.
It says January 20th.
Oh, shoot. You have a month off. February 20th.
Okay. I'm looking at these notes and it's saying Heads Up Hustle registration is open January 20th. I'm like,
you're like, how the heck?
Yeah, that's cool. All right. So upcoming registrations that we got February 20th. So just in 2 days, Heads Up Hustle will open up. So again, if that is one that interests you, you've got 2 days to get registered or get prepared to register for Heads Up Hustle. And also in 2 days, if you are a veteran for Rocky Mountain Race Week, you can register on February 20th for that one. And then any new members or open to the public would be February 21st.
Yeah, that's going to be another one. That one will sell out fast.
Yep. And then finally, also on February 21st, hopefully you're not trying to register for both of these, is Hot Rod Drag Week. So it is February 21st is going to be a busy day for people that want to get in to some of these events. And those are 2 big events to get into.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, after this, that kind of gives us like, well, we had the 6 up there, 9. I mean, I think that's still only 12 or 14 of the events that have had their registration for the year. So we still have a lot of year left in it. Carl Stansel here would drop the hammer, says it's all good. 40 spots left of 150, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yes, Dustin, you should do Drop the Hammer too. It's
And
on the list for sure.
yeah, Hot Rod Drag Week, you will get to see me there with a camera because that is in my neighborhood this year. So if you are going to be at Drag Week, if you get registered here on February 21st, I will be there taking photos. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to go to Joliet Route 66 Dragway because I have never been to a drag and drive there. Obviously, been to some NHRA stuff. Thanks to Howard's Cams, gave us some tickets a few years ago to go to that, which was amazing, but haven't been to a drag and drive there. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm on the fence, dude. Like I'm so on the fence. Like I really want to do Redwood Rally with my daughter. And if I do this, that means I literally have to drive home the night of the 18th so we can get in on an airplane the next day to fly to California. So man, I don't know. But if somebody in an S10 truck confirms they're going, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, that would be tough to miss that.
At least a couple of days. Maybe I follow just until worldwide technology and then come home.
Yeah.
Give me a day. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yep, it's going to be good. Some big events coming up to register for. So
yeah, that is for sure. Dude, did you see the Streetcar Challenge has added a cheap car challenge as well?
I did see that. That's going to be pretty cool. This is one of the things I'm most excited for with these events that are starting to do these cheap car challenges because again, it's going to bring in some new people that maybe want to build just a cheap car that don't want to go 850s or don't want to do all that. This is going to be a fun jumping off point and show that cheap, slowish cars are still a ton of fun.
Yeah. And all it takes is one event and people are hooked. There was a post by Stephen Little today that Brandon Dollar shared. I don't know if you saw it, but it was like, yeah, he high level racer. He's like, we've went to the utmost extreme to go very, very fast. He's like, and now we've done Sick Week and it's all I can think about. I mean, it kind of summed up what he said, but that's what we see all the time. All it takes is one drag and drive, and these guys are like, that's what I'm doing every year.
It's just like Thomas West, right? Super fast stick shift racer, gets in his wife's car, and does, what was that, 6 Smokies he did?
Yep.
And now is like, yeah, I want to do more drag and drive.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people. Big shout out to Harris at Monoxide Podcast. He was interviewing Morgan Evans on the latest one that he dropped, and I just watched or just listened to it today, and that was her whole thing. They had raced, they had done all this stuff, they had drifted, they had done some off-road stuff, and she's like, drag and drive, man, it's really, it's just a movement. It's a whole movement. You guys know it. We preach about it all the time.
Yep. And breaking news here, Buckeye Skips is adding a surf club. Love the name of that, surf club, which is similar to the Road Week, the Sick Ward, Drag Pack, that kind of stuff. So info is going to be coming shortly on this surf club for Buckeye Skip. So it's going to be a ton of fun too.
Yeah, that is news that no one else knows in the community of Drag and Drive. So he told me that we could break that news right here tonight. So I'm excited. So shout out to Skip and all the stuff he does for the Drag and Drive community. And thank you for letting us break that news. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So that puts us up to 48 events for the year. Again, we're middle-ish of February, 48 events already on the calendar. We know some more are going to pop up throughout the year, but if you want to go check those out, Mike has created this amazing interactive map on the website, dragdriverepeat.com/event list 2026. That link is in the comments, but go check it out. See what events are near you or what events might interest you. All that information's right there.
Right. And we are updating it tomorrow. I had to go through and do some Excel spreadsheet updates today because when we first did it, there weren't tracks announced for every event. Now there's tracks announced for like 45 of the 48 events, I think, something like that. So that gives me an opportunity to update that. And I was doing it today. I just couldn't get it done and saved in time to start the show tonight. So kind of excited. Big shout out to Driven for all the help they do and all the stuff they do for us here at Drag Driver P. If you guys need to keep your stuff spinning in circles inside, they have transmission fluid, they have oils, and any kind of, I mean, they have spray wax for the car. Anything that is, they're the official oil here of Drag Driver Pete.
Yep, code DDR10 gets you a 10% discount on their website. So if you're purchasing anything, make sure to use that code, save yourself 10%.
Yep. All right, sir. J-Wire Solutions, one of our best buddies over there, Mr. Jay Blanchard. I think he was in here a little bit ago. I'll play this intro, and then we'll talk about some other cool stuff going on in the community.
What's up, guys? My name is Cole from Fort Worth, Texas. Expert car and marine wiring solutions that you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, your race car, hell, even your drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience way better, like their blinker module that is just a must for all drag and drive cars. This module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. Find all the details at jwiresolutions.com.
For sure, and jwiresolutions.com, J-Wire Solutions on Facebook and YouTube, and let's peer pressure Jay into creating more videos, please. What I want to talk about in this segment is Scott Thompson sent me a message the other day. You guys will know him as the C10 truck, that C10 that is on YouTube, but he's also does a lot of Southeast Street and He does a lot of drag and drives. This truck is on a 275, will run deep into the 8s, probably high 7s, very, very fast. He had a great question, and I kind of want to get people's experience because from the media side of stuff, ours is completely different. But he said, how do you split expenses within a drag and drive? So I want to actually, I know we were going to bring Chris in for the next one, but if Chris gives me a thumbs up here in a minute, I want to bring him in and kind of talk about this because normally he has Lily as his co-pilot, but this time he had Ramsey from PFD Performance from one of the Canadians. Oh, he's giving me the thumbs up. So I want to see kind of how they got through this. So got Mr. Chris Wozniak, WAF Racing, Track Buddy app, all the cool stuff. Second in DYO, the largest class of Sick Week. Just an all-around badass. These are his builds in the back. We'll talk about those in a minute as well. Chris,
yes,
tell us what you got going on, and then let's talk about this. How did you and Ramsey kind of split the costs of Sick Week or a drag and drive in general?
To be honest with you, Raj booked a bunch of extra rooms, and I bought extra rooms off him, and then Ramsey booked the spots that we didn't have, and at the end, we just kind of split the rooms. But I had Lily, my usual co-pilot, fly in on a Thursday night, so I felt I owed a bigger half on the accommodations.
Nice.
But it's the buddy system, being a good buddy. We both like coffee. I've got a Starbucks app. I order the coffee in the morning and snag it. Sometimes at the hotel, he buys a case of beer. Food usually split. It's my car. I'm coming anyways. I feel like I should be paying for gas, but split accommodations and just be a good buddy and conscious of it's expensive for everyone to do these things. So buy a buddy a coffee, buy a buddy a beer. Buy maybe extra beers if you break something, have sympathy beers provided.
Right. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of these beers. You just tore the bottom end of the carts. No problem.
Yeah, for sure.
I got them, friend. Well, hey, speaking of room splitting, you guys let me sleep in one room one night, and I appreciate that, and ended up got to follow Justin Nunley and Sean, the What No Way guy, for the next day. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, those guys are
drive too fast for me. Those guys were right about my speed.
Well, yeah, when you accidentally become friends with Rich Guido and Raj, you either drive fast, stay with your friends, or you don't. And that's probably why the Firebird in the back corner here needs the motor replaced, running 4,000 RPMs for Sick Week 2024 the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's why the CUDA has a gear vendor in it, because if I can't get somewhere fast, I get pretty impatient. If you're not going to be fast at the track, you better be fast on the street, right?
Yeah, I think some of the mile an hour you had at the track, you also ran on the road.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think that's kind of a shot right there, but
Yeah, so I'll just tell this story. I don't even remember how I got in behind you guys, but Raj was leading. Oh, it was when we left South Georgia. Raj is leading, and Chris is, drafting him, and I cannot keep up. And I'm in a regular F-150 pulling a 10-foot trailer. Like, dude, I was like, where? I just text Chris, where are we going? I'm gonna need to add traffic. I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Great.
Trying to go make sure you go modern highway speeds in your race car helps. If you're going to leave the track light, it helps get to where you're going a little sooner.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's just something about blowing by a bunch of, I guess if you want to call them civilian drivers, making a very controlled, safe pass to get where you're going, maybe with a freight train of other racers going at a similar speed, maybe passing several cars. That's kind of the way that I was indoctrinated by the friend group that I lucked into. So that's the only way I know. Really.
I love it. I think that's the way to do it. I mean, it's what helps all this stuff. And like, think about people in like a normal car. They're just driving along and then they get like, what the heck? Why am I going 72 miles an hour?
And it's not like a normal rig you're getting passed by. It's not some guy in his new Corvette. It's an eclectic group of muscle cars towing trailers being ridiculous. So I mean, I like to think that we're giving those folks on the road an experience when they see this train of old school race cars flying by.
Well, listen, if you drive faster than they are, you get to show your car to more people.
True. And when you got stickers like drag, drive, repeat on it and driven and Elbrock and stuff, you're helping with advertising and getting the brand awareness out there, right?
Yeah, we definitely have to put, we needed Tom Bagley to be in front of more people. We didn't need people passing him to get all that stuff done. Yeah, it's a good time. So so that's one thing. What are some of the comments saying here? I blew right past them.
Speed Mini here. I cover the entry and hotels while Peyton covers fuel and some food.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think it really is kind of a buddy system. Like you just kind of, I don't know, you know, hey, I'm going anyways, right? Like that's a lot of it, but throw some cash that way to let the driver, have a break a little bit on some of the credit card expense there. I think some, for rooms and, food probably.
Yeah.
I should have bought y'all dinner that night at the Mexican restaurant.
No.
Way to go. Way to go.
Yeah. Way to go. Ruin that one. And then he let me stay for free in the room.
Oh man, too nice.
Only because we lucked into that big suite. I mean, if we had a small room, I would have been like, "Sorry, Mike. I guess you're sleeping in the truck or going to the next stop."
Yeah, one king bed wouldn't have been enough for 3 adult dudes.
Yeah, you're a bit of a nomad out there, kind of finding where the story takes you and getting the accommodations where you end up. I appreciate your lifestyle.
It was an interesting week. Having a trailer that I could camp in was pretty cool, man. Because it really, anywhere. I could have stayed anywhere. But appreciate you guys letting me hang out in the room there the one night. I hope I didn't keep you up too late for the with the snoring.
Not at all.
Eric knows. All right. So that's kind of how I want to hear some other stuff in the comments of how you guys split stuff. I promise your wives won't see this because she's not watching anything drag, drive, repeat or drag and drive related. She's tired of hearing you talk about it. So you can post, confidently in there that she's not going to see any of that stuff. So post away. Let us know how you split everything up.
For sure.
Oh, Steve Atwell in here, dude.
Brian Mackey says that we definitely get some weird looks passing people at 80 in Jamie's 59 wagon pulling a camper.
Now we're talking.
That's got to be one of the coolest combos that's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, beware if Matt Blasco, if you know Matt Blasco, if he's your co-pilot, that guy doesn't like tacos and he doesn't drink coffee. So just beware. Don't.
Well, he's Canadian. So.
Yeah, he's an odd one. The rest of the Canadians are pretty normal.
I'm 50-50 on that. I can do tacos. I don't do coffee. So
yeah, all right. I'm not a coffee guy, but sure do love some caffeine.
Yeah. Rowdy here saying my wife was a co-pilot last year, so it was all coming out of the same pocket.
Ouch. That's tough. You're like, no, honey, we don't eat this good whenever we're out. That's what I say all the time. I don't know where that receipt came from. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I had to stop there because everybody was there. All right. Well, let's get to moving on here. I think that was a fun one. Thanks to Scott Thompson for doing that. He said they had like a 4-hour conversation in the shop one night about that, and kind of the racers that were in there, like the heavy duty, high level drag racers that they hang out with, could not believe that, people would split rooms and that it was just kind of like a hangout for everybody,
Yeah.
Definitely helps. These aren't definitely, especially if you're on a budget, if you got someone who's willing to split and share some of the expense, and it's fun having, having a good co-pilot. And not that Lily's not a good co-pilot. She's of course the best co-pilot, but Ramsey, who was with me this week, that guy, he really helped me a lot on the car. So
yeah,
that was awesome.
That's a plus. I mean, I've seen Lily help, but she's not big burly Ramsey.
She's not big burly Ramsey. That is right. She has other benefits.
Yeah. We won't talk about this.
Family show.
Yeah. Well, and you're the only one that gets those benefits, jerk. All right. Let's talk about some Molly Motorsports stuff here, because this is a segment what we were really going to talk about the whole time and bring him in for this. So, Mr. Eric, I'll let you do the ad read.
All right. Attention racers and high performance enthusiasts. Are you ready to start your next engine build? I know Chris is. If so, there's no better time than right now to check out Molly Motorsports all-in-one Power Pack piston kits. With over 1,200 applications, these kits come complete with pistons, rings, wrist pins, and clips, all designed to work together. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. And for the podcast listeners, Molly is spelled M-A-H-L-E.
And then hang on just a second. I want to show this real quick because Scott Klontz at Molly Motorsports sent this to me, and I was supposed to play it tonight, so I'm going to play it now.
Looking for a forged piston kit for your vehicle? You need Molly Motorsport Power Pack. What is Power Pack? It's the ultimate forged piston kit that comes complete with pistons, performance file fit rings, hot string steel pins, and clips, all engineered to work together, so all you have to do is build something great. Find your Power Pack at mollymotorsport.com.
Hey, that's way better than me.
I don't know about that, but those Molly guys are pretty cool. All right, Chris, I want to talk about Sick Week and your experience down there. We've got some photos you sent over. We're going to go through those in a minute, but
Cool.
Dude, let's start with this one. I think is probably one of the best ones to start with. What the heck is going on here?
That is what happens when you don't have a big enough car trailer to haul your trailer and your car. And it snows in Nashville and driving to Florida. So made the 10-hour commute, fouled in. Raj was at the shop for the week leading up to it. He left a day or two ahead of me to do some additional testing, but he left in the same junk in the sleet and nastiness, and just got out of Dodge. It started snowing again when I was leaving. I think that was Friday, maybe around noon. And it was just get the heck out of Nashville, head south as fast as I can and try to find the not snow because of the freak weather up here.
Yeah, pretty insane, dude. Pretty insane. But what a cool shot.
Yeah, I don't think we had that much snow up here in northern Illinois at that time. I think it all hit southern.
Yeah, Nashville, Tennessee does not have weather like that. A lot of ice, a lot of people without power. Thankfully, the shop had power and we were good. And Raj and I were able to hang out and get ready for Sick Week. So that was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, Raj said the car's covered in salt now. Wheelie machine. You got a wheelie machine here. Tell us about your Sick Week experience.
So this is the first drag and drive I've done where really I just went out and had fun, and the car did what I expected it to do, and we didn't fight weird issues. It's a case of don't know what I don't know. When I first got this car, I wasn't into drag and drive. The goal was to do hot rod power tour with buddies. And that was fun. Driving the car in the street and doing burnouts and stuff here and there. Car runs fine. But when you ring them out and try to get every last bit out of them, you start finding the weird stuff. And we just had a lot of weird stuff. Learned that we had some goofy wiring that was our own problem, causing interference with the ignition that I've been fighting with for a couple of years. Jay from J-Wire actually helped me figure that out. Raj and I dissected some spark plug wires that had some weird bad crimps in them that were arcing on the inside. Just all sorts of weird stuff that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you really start trying to get every little bit out of the car. And it's not a rocket ship of a car. We were always shooting for 10s in this thing, but at about 35,000 really hard miles and not taken care of probably so great the first year, she burns oil and ready for a refresh. But this year at Sick Week, we ran personal bests in the car, and we ran super consistent, and we did our little baby wheelie every day, and nothing broke. We just tinkered with the carburetor a bit to keep up with the air changes just because we were competitive in DYO. And it was just fun. Like, it was just legitimately the first time I've had fun and not been frustrated throughout the week. So that was awesome for us.
What classes do you typically do DYO in this car?
No, I did the naturally aspirated class last year, which, I know there's no chance of placing, but it was one of those just whatever, enter a class, and I wasn't trying to be consistent. And we were really just going out to see how the car was going to perform after some of the wiring snafus I had found and fixed. And, day one, we ran an 11.352, which was personal best in this car. And funny enough, my personal best ever in any car I owned was my Hellcat, where I ran an 11.353. So,
wow. PB, baby.
PB. And then day number two, we ran an 11.353. So an 001 spread, and is like, oh, whoa, maybe we should try to be consistent. And then day three, we ran an 11.353 again, and we're in first place.
Hold on. Are you saying you were 001 across 3 days of racing?
Yeah. Sometimes I have accidental luck.
Wow.
But we ran this Edelbrock VRS carburetor on the car, and it was just absolutely awesome. It picked up 2 miles per hour over my, custom race style Holly. And it was just super consistent. It ran good on the street. And then day four, we left a little on the table. We ran a 376. Stayed all day to make one more run at the end of the day, and ran an 11.284, which I was stoked about getting another personal best, but it did not help the average. So went into day five in second place, and unfortunately the first place guy did what he needed to do to maintain his spread, but we did what we needed to do as well and got second. So that was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. And it was like a 0.024 spread. Is that right?
352 to 376. So yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, that's awesome. And I think 011 won it.
Yeah. I think he won it the last couple years. I think somebody told me.
Wow.
So I think that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, and what's really cool is you drove that car from Nashville down there. You go down, you kicked ass, and then you drove it home.
Yeah, it was a blast, and it was the first time that Ramsey was a co-pilot. Met him at 666, him and his family, and just kind of hit it off. And then Smokies, they stayed at our house for a couple of days because it was in the Nashville area, and he'd never been to Sick Week, wanted to go, and Lily didn't have all the time off from work, so I was like, why don't you come be the co-pilot? And and it was awesome. Guy likes to work on cars, knows a lot of stuff, and he's a nerd like me. He's like an engineering nerd, so he's doing complex math on telling me what numbers I need to run and all that sort of stuff.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk about the Track Buddy here in a minute, because that probably, I would say, helped your run there a little bit.
A little bit. It was nice being able to have the data at my fingertips.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, let's run through these first. The next thing I want to show is probably one of the favorite videos you sent me. You sent me a few. This is the only one I pulled, but let's all enjoy this moment where you and Rovic pull up at the stoplight at the same time. Dude, how much fun was that?
Oh, it's always a blast. All you have to do is really just look at him, not even with both eyes, just you can kind of glance over and it's on, shades come down, serious look happens. And I will say, to get some fuel economy out of my car, I run a 31-inch tall tire on the street. And at my power level, man, I can book and get it on the street. So it's nasty. Better watch out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, talk about a fun dude to be around. While they repaired the transmission and stuff in his car, you and I and Ramsey and who's the guy that was at Heathen's Garage? What's his name?
Yep.
Was it Kyle? Keith?
Ethan.
Ethan, I was close.
Yep.
And then Rich and Bob Guido both all went to dinner, man. I think it was like one of the only times I had Mexican food all week. So we got to go. I got to like hang out with people. It was very strange. So I appreciate y'all including me in that.
No, I'm glad we ran into you. Ran you a couple times that day. Besides personal best in the car, the WAF towing service also began this drag and drive.
Yes.
Towing A bodies since 2026 here. I had the joy of towing Mr. Rovick and Mr. Guido back to the pits.
Oh, I didn't know you had to tow Guido back. Wow, how fun.
I guess it's an A body thing. They like being towed by Mopars.
Yeah. It's all the torque. They're like, hey, please help us get down there. That's cool, man. Well, let's run through some photos while you tell us some more stories. Dude, second in DYO, like, did that add stress for the week?
Day 4 a little bit, because then I was finally thinking about it, and that's where we slipped. But a little bit. Running with Tom there, that was a good picture. It's good getting to know Tom. We actually, WAF Racing, we wanted to pay it forward. We're very fortunate and have some sponsorship opportunities, so we wanted to pay it forward to another racer, and we couldn't think of anyone better than Tom to help. Talk about a guy with expenses to come do drag and drive coming from another country.
Yeah, not only running a car that is now a 9-second street car, also flies over from the UK.
Yeah. So that was cool. He does some work with Edelbrock just like us, and just getting to know him better. We met at Six Smokies and stuff, and it was cool to see our logo there on the car, even though, I was watching it go down the track in front of me. But there's a
great video of there's a pass. I guess I don't know if y'all lined up again, but it looked like you were out on him. And then he just comes motoring on by. Like,
yep.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That's what you get. That's what you get. Those turbo cars come on late.
Yeah, them tired old small blocks, they start to run out of steam there going down the track. But we're gonna try to remedy that a little bit for the circuit here in 71 days. So.
Well, dude, tell us about it. Tell us what's going on.
Well, that motor, we know.
Hold on, I'm trying to get there. There we
go. We know more now about what we want to do with our car. So just bumping up the compression, changing pistons, better ring package, probably a different cam. And we want to chase a 10-second number and keep the car naturally aspirated, small block, still a pump gas type motor. But that's all I've ever wanted out of that CUDA, is just something that, me or Lily or anybody can get in it and run and have it be an actual 10-second car. So that's the goal when we come to the circuit, is to see a 10-second range. Yeah, and we were gonna, I think, get rid of the gear vendor overdrive setup. You may see a transmission that's not typically behind a small block Mopar in the car when we come to the circuit.
Is that something you can talk about yet, or are you guys going 8 HP?
No, not an 8 HP.
Okay.
Can't share exactly yet. Maybe some new stuff that's in the works. But when I got peer pressured into doing Big Sky, I thought, boy, I really want a much better overdrive for going cross country. Yeah. And started talking to some folks, and we're going to try some stuff if we can squeeze it into the tunnel. So how
fun. That's awesome. Just get a big hammer. It's fine.
Yeah. There's going to be a little hammer and a little bit of cutting, but I think it'll be a cool combination once it's
That's
together.
Awesome. Steve Atwell says Chris talks about luck with his ET. However, he is very I'm sure it's probably say methodical on his direction with the total car as a package. And it is, man, it's a fun car. And dude, anytime you can have, we're going to talk about this with Keith later too, but 10-second street cars, man. I mean, like, you build that thing from Nashville. There's probably very few street cars that would do that.
I'm probably a bit behind the curve on the been there, done that and stuff, and there's check boxes I want to check. I know that I could get a Gen 3 Hemi with a turbo and put it in there and go a lot faster, but there's things I want to do. I want to achieve a certain goal with a small block. We're working on our Roadrunner project, and I want to fight the battle of a big block stick shift car and live that life for a little bit. And it's, I have a couple cars I really like, and there's just lots of different drivetrain combinations I want to try. So that's kind of what we want to do. Check some boxes for things I've always wanted to try, and I'm in no rush to go real fast. It is, it is fun seeing all my friends go real fast, but I'll catch up one day.
Well, and dude, Eric and I talk about this all day. I know he's tired of me talking about him going 10-0 racing, but because that car will be way more capable than that. But man, I just think that's going to be fun. Like it's a car you could literally cruise around and drive anywhere, and you're not afraid to take that thing on a 10-hour drive from Nashville because like you don't want to double pull a big trailer and then a little trailer in behind it.
Yeah, and stereos are a must for me in any of the cars I built. Good stereos. You got to have a system that's loud enough to hear over the exhaust and the windows being down. And that's what I like to do. I like to see the roads in an old car, cruising at 80 miles an hour, blowing by people and listening to tunes.
Yeah. It's kind of a neat thing that we live in because like these cars, I mean, what year is the CUDA?
73.
Right. So, I mean, it's 53 years. Like you're not anywhere near that old. So like somebody had that car when it was new. Somebody else had that car. Then somebody else had that car. And they've all driven that car at some point in their lives in, at night, cruising around with exhaust on it. And like now you get to do that. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, no, I feel very fortunate to be able to do these things. I work hard, but I play hard too. So
yeah,
that's what we want to do.
That's awesome. Well, I want to add some photos here. It's you accepting your second place DYO trophy, which for the folks that don't understand, Eric, do you remember, was it 92 or 96 people in that class?
I don't know.
I think it was 92.
It was a bunch. I mean, dude, that's nearly a third of the field or a quarter of the field in that class that you're competing with, and you just kind of kick their ass. It's pretty awesome.
I'll get lucky.
I mean, hey, there's Luke B right there.
Gotta have to Luke B in here tonight.
That's awesome. And yeah, Rodney Reeves says, man, a 10-second street car is still fast. It is. And it'll do burnouts, like all that stuff we talked about.
Yeah, Steve, how many Mopar e-bodies? Pull a trailer. Most Mopar e-body guys baby their stuff.
And Steve should know. Steve should know. Well, dude, talk to us about this Track Buddy app. I want to know more about this. I want to know how this helped you. I want to know who else had it. And then kind of all the stuff that kind of went into Sick Week. And then, of course, putting all this together.
Sure. Well, the Track Buddy app, the idea stemmed from Rich Guido, really. At WAF Racing, we make some carburetor-specific tools and storage cases and things to help the drag and drive racer. And I don't know, if maybe a Sick Week last year, he said, you know what I want? He said, I want something to keep my time slips organized. And he was probably thinking some sort of case to put time slips in. But I just started kind of brainstorming with some buddies, and this idea of the Track Buddy app came to life. For me, I like to mess with carburetors, and I keep track of the changes and tweaks I have. And like a lot of guys, I have a notebook full of what happened on the run, what was my launch RPM, what did I change, what was my tire pressure, did I change something in the carburetor? So the idea was born to have an app where you can put your cars in it and you build a base tune. So shock settings, tires, timing, carburetor stuff. And when you go to make a pass at the track, one, it knows where I am because I'm on a phone. So it says, hey, are you at this track? Yep, I am. You can name the event, name the run, enter your time slip data, take a picture. So you have the picture history. But then also it shows that tune data there associated to the run. So you have time slip information, weather information, what was the event, and what was the setup on the car. And if you deviated from your base tune for that run, say I changed my shock settings, you can overwrite it. So now you have a time slip that's recorded that shows what you modified from your tune associated to the result. And now you slowly build a historical database in here where if you say I'm going to Beach Bend next summer and it's hot as heck and it's 4,000 DA, I can look up what are all my runs at Beach Bend last time it was around this DA, or last time it was this, last time it was that, and kind of look at what my setups were and what the performance of the car was, and pull that information to help me be competitive.
And I know Jay and Brian keep a lot of that stuff on a in a 3-ring binder, or I think they may have moved that over to like a drive now. But dude, having that, I think, on your person is a huge win.
And the guys who have, I'll say guys like Rich Guido and Brian and Jay, and they're data logged to the nth degree, so they keep a certain level of that, I think, in the computer, and it'll always remain there. But some of the more mechanical changes on the car can be associated with here. And it may be as simple as what was the name of the tune in the car during that run, and, you know, all the data logs they probably keep on their system. But we really lucked into meeting a developer who is great. She's not of a racing background, so we have some interesting conversations as this has come to life, trying to understand. But yeah, we've got racing calculators in there, the ability to compare runs, the ability to share runs with other users or via text, run intelligence to look through all your historical data, and just a lot of information that you can keep in here. Maintenance stuff, when was your oil change, events calendar, which we will show the app here in a minute, is sponsored by the Drag Drive Repeat guys. But if you'd like, I could do a screen share and kind of give everyone a glimpse of what this thing looks like.
Yeah, let's do that. And Raj saying, you know, it'll pull live weather and all that stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about the weather and the forecast. And yeah, let's see how this works.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I mean, I obviously, like, I'm not very smart and have that kind of stuff because I'm not fast enough yet, and I don't need that on my camera. But something like this would probably be good for camera settings. You know, like, hey, when it was sunny outside, this is what you did, instead of figuring it out every time. Isn't that right, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric's like, dude, just write it down. Have a preset.
What? Can you see it okay, Mike? Is it showing up okay?
We're good. Yep.
Cool. Well, if you're good with it, I'll just kind of run people through what it does real quick. Man. All right. So it all kind of starts in your garage. So you can have multiple vehicles set up in here. When you create a vehicle, it asks, you can upload a picture. You can put basic year, make, model, engine size, engine make. Is it an automatic type car, transmission, engine aspiration, just basic stuff about the car is logged in here. You get into the tunes section, and I'm a carburetor guy, and I've been playing with 2 different carbs, so I have 2 tunes here. Once you're in here, from the categories in here are, what's your race weight? There's notes, ignition timing, tire information, suspension information. For me, I keep some notes in here about what my street setup is on my shocks versus my track setup, because I can never remember what the heck I set them back to every day when I leave the track. Until we're bouncing down the highway on super stock leaf springs, and Ramsey's looking at me like, damn, man, this is a rough ride.
You're like, oh yeah, hang on. I've got the wheelie shock settings in here.
Yeah. I'm a big carburetor guy. So for me, keeping track of jet sizes, quarters, power valves, etc. Fuel injection guys, there's some stuff here, transmission and diff area, launch RPM, rear end ratio. For nitrous guys, nitrous information. For boost guys, a spot for some boost information. I do a lot with Raj, and he gives a lot of feedback on stuff. So he's been an integral part of the app as well, in the development and feedback. Some neat stuff here. If you've got multiple tunes, you can compare them side by side, so you can kind of see what's different tune to tune. So, some of the guys who are playing with a lot faster stuff might have, say, a 10-second tune in a 950 tune or a 1050 or whatever your index is, and you can save different tunes in here.
That's awesome.
So, you set your tune in the car. So I'm running the VRS 750. I'm setting that. So that's what's loaded in the car. So now by default, everything I do when I go to log time slip data, it thinks I have this tune in the car. So if we go to log a run, first thing, I'm in Nashville, north side of Nashville, sees the nearest track is Clarksville, Tennessee. So I can say, yep, I'm at that track. I'm at whatever event, pulls the date, pulls the weather data, the DA. I can name the time slip if I want. You can upload a picture, and then you can start going through and filling in your reaction times, 330s, all your incrementals. But what's cool is that tuning data is here from that base tune that I loaded. So say I change the timing to 38 degrees here, and I save that. Now, if I look at this, there's a summary of where's one with a modified tune. So here's one of the actual data. So this is what was changed on this run, and this was my result. So you kind of get the time slip data associated to what was changed. So you can go through
Interesting.
and see all this information, but honestly, just having digitally access to all your time slips and sharing them, you know, if I want to share this run with my buddy, my co-pilot's at the track with me, that can formulate a summary of what the run was and text it.
Wow.
There's a Teams module as well that's not launched yet, but you can set up a team. So if you're with a co-pilot and he wants to put in information for you, and share information so you can see everything live. When you get in here and look at the run intelligence, you can start it's just a big search query where you can look at, you know, show me anything when DA was between 0 and 500, for example. Here's all the runs. And then you can get in there and you can compare these runs to each other and start looking at what your incrementals were. How did the car perform? What was the tune information? I see a question about, does it allow to backdate and get weather for previous runs? Yeah. So, you know, sometimes you're busy at the events like sick week and you may forget to enter your runs until you're sitting there celebrating for a few hours or eating tacos. If you backdate the run, yes, it pulls the DA information for the actual time.
Bro, this is awesome.
Thank you. Another cool thing is keeping track of if you want to compare your data to yourself, like we had our 352, our 353, and our 353 runs the first 3 days. If I compare it here, I can see what was better or worse on each of those runs and see the spread across them. Another interesting feature that's kind of fun to, if you will, say grudge race your buddies. If you share runs in the app, I'm going to compare my best run to somebody with a 1965 GTO that runs 830s. I probably have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't think he runs any faster than an 8503. That's the quickest I've ever seen submitted.
So there's some incremental differences between my 73 CUDA and a Rich Guido 65 GTO. So it's, you know, it's kind of fun to share your time slip data with buddies in here and kind of see, you know, what would have been if you guys lined up together. Toolbox. Oh, there's a special little thing in here that may be coming very soon that may be surprising to some folks. The Tugla Taco Finder. That would be your Mr. Rajveer there, the tacos and burnouts guy. You may laugh, but if you just search Mexican restaurant, that is not enough to find all the taco joints near you. You need to be searching for how they listed themselves on the interwebs to find tacos. So we've got some search algorithms and AI involved in helping find the best tacos around you.
That's what I'm talking about, man. This is what's up.
Racing calculators, you know, the typical stuff that you might be bench racing and looking up while you're at the track or bored with your buddies. We've just kind of built a lot of these into the app so you have them at your fingertips. Grudge math is kind of a fun one. If you're in a class where it's calculating an average all week, you can kind of keep track of your competitor and say Bob here has made 4 runs on the first 4 days. You've made 3. You can see that you're behind by 0.008 seconds, and I need to run an 11.321 on my next run to get past Bob. That was bred from 666, where I was calling into one of my buddies back home in Nashville and say, hey, can you do some math for me real quick? I had a grudge going on. It doesn't matter if you're fighting for 51st and 52nd. If you got a grudge, you got a grudge, man. You got to do some math and know what you got to run.
That's awesome. Well, where can people get this? Like, is this like, do they need to drive to Nashville and you download it? How do they get this?
Yeah, they have to come to my house and plug into my computer, Mike. That's how we're going to do it.
2026, man.
I'm going to show one last thing and then I'll tell you where to get it. So the drag drive repeat calendar has our calendar of events. So the events that you post and keep up with for people, the calendar is on here. The circuit here, you know,
I'm just saying it's worth it just for that. Like, does everybody understand? Right? It's worth it just for the calendar of events to physically have it on a calendar.
So you can share the event from here. You can get the hyperlink back out to the event. But what we're going to do with some of the calendar features is if I hit yes that I'm attending the circuit, if I go to log a run and it's during the date range that the circuit is in the calendar, I don't have to type in that I'm at the circuit. It knows I'm at the circuit. So just to help autofill some of the calendar stuff. But I'm also kind of thinking now, we keep saying 71 days, that maybe we need if you said you're going to an event, a little countdown timer for you when you get the app. But, we're going to try to leverage the calendar.
Yeah, Dustin Carlington there, that could be a little scary for that dude. I think he signed up for like 5 events this year. It'd just be he'd log into the app and be like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah. And then it is a new app out here, so we're always taking feedback. There is a spot to submit feedback, give it a POS report, or give it a brilliant idea or mediocre one. Our developer has a sense of humor. You'll find some entertaining stuff buried throughout the app. But the way we're going to work it is you come to the WAF Racing website and you can purchase it there, and you'll have a choice for an annual or quarterly subscription. And at the end of it, you can renew or not if you don't like it. But we are going to be continually improving it. There are data export features too. If you're a data nerd like me, you can export it out to an Excel or CSV file, all of your racing data. So you can bring it into the computer and look at things your own way. But we baked a lot of stuff in here, and we're working hard to try to make it user friendly. I know what it's like when you're at the track and you're trying to make hot laps, but you want to write down your notes and your data. Use some voice to text when you're logging a run to I botched the launch or this or that. But just get it all here digitally, and then it's nice to be able to sit here at the end of the night and look through your results and put a game plan together. Mm-hmm. Ramsey and I looked at a lot of this data on, throughout sick week. And that was kind of what we were looking at, what the air was doing and what the car was doing, and making some educated guesses on minor tweaks to fueling in the carburetor to try to stay where we were in DYO. And I would like to attribute some of our success to having the right tools, or having some.
That's awesome. I dropped the link in the chat over there, but it will also be for people that are listening to this or watching later. It's down in the description as well.
Yeah, and anybody I'll get you some information, Mike. But if anybody wants to try it going into race season, we'll get some discount codes for race car friends. We want people in it. We want people using it. We want to get the feedback. The more people that use it and give feedback, the better we can make it in a hurry. And we made nice. We made modifications. Nice. We made modifications on the fly all throughout sick week based on racer feedback from people that were in testing and using and stuff. So we appreciate it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw Mike Turner saying he had used it. And I'm sure Raj used it. And I'm sure you had several other folks down there using that as well. That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, we'll be using it at the circuit.
Yeah, bring it on. We'll let's get you and Cliff together, talk about some of that, and then of course we'll have all of our video equipment there, and we'll jump on there a little bit and talk through some of that as well. So guys, obviously Track Buddy, need to go over and find that. I did put the link over there in the chat or down in the description for you guys. So I think this would be really cool, man. Good job, bro. That's something that the universe needs, and I'll tell you, just the calendar side of stuff will be a huge win for a lot of people, and worth it in that sense.
Oh, and I didn't touch on the oil changes stuff, but you get the idea. You can put in there when you change your oil, transmission fluid, all that stuff, keep track of it. And we're trying to get sponsors involved. So the way we want to keep costs down for racers is if we get some sponsors for segments of the app. If we get some sponsor folks in, we'll try to do our best to keep racer costs down. So that's kind of how we're looking at it.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. And dude, that's what it takes, man. Listen, people don't understand what it takes to develop an app. I'm looking right here to everybody out there. It's expensive and time consuming. And those are two things that, we need sponsor help with. We need, brand partners that you could hook up with there to have all the special stuff.
You guys are number one. You're brand partner number one in the app. So thank you.
Well, you're too good to us, man. We appreciate it a whole lot. You're pretty awesome. And dude, I love it, man. It's really a cool app, and I can't wait to see some of the, just the reviews and some of the conversations that come from that too, because of Mike Turner's a great guy to be using that. Like that dude is super smart. He works as hard on naturally aspirated or nitrous assisted stuff, different kind of NA than you. He's won the bracket class at drag or the SME bracket race at drag week. I mean, that dude's serious. He gets down and races and has a good time.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to getting feedback from racers. It takes racers to make it better, and don't be bashful with the feedback. It's how we improve.
Yeah. Last part here, I want to know, you had a picture, but I didn't put it in there. You've got the motor out of the CUDA, transmissions out of the CUDA, rear end's getting rebuilt. What's going on with it? What's up next?
Yeah. Well, in case you've never seen, there is a 727 with a gear vendor on it. It's about a mile long.
Yeah.
It's just, I hate to say it, but I think when the motor was brand new, I heard it doing hot rod power tour, not knowing what I didn't know, running with no overdrive at like 3,700 RPM in 100-degree weather. Before I was running driven oil, the oil I was running just turned to water and burned so much oil that I think I glazed the rings, and it got loud. That's how much oil it burned, that lifter noise. And didn't know what I didn't know. And then I took better care of it since then, but that's what I've been racing on since the motor's been new. So since we finally did better for once, and we got enough, I think we have enough time before the circuit, we want to pull it out. It's only a 10 to 1 compression motor now. We're just bumping it up to 10.8. Builders already got it in the machine shop. Bearings and everything look great. It's just getting a hone job, new pistons, new rings. And then we'll see what the timeline on is for a new cam. If we can get a new cam, we're going to do it. But if not, we're not going to chance not having the motor together.
Yeah.
And then we're still fleshing out this new transmission combo. And then I don't need one, but a Dana 60 just looks real good under a CUDA. So I've always wanted to replace the 8 3/4 with a Dana. So we're going to throw a Dana under this thing. And that's it.
That's awesome. And then, well, you're going to keep the same. You said 391 gears are going to stay the same?
I think we're going to go to a 373.
Ooh, nice. All right.
Just a little bit. We've run a 355 in the car before. We just ran a 391 for sick week. I think a 373 is going to be a sweet spot for the car.
That's awesome. And then you have, of course, we see the Firebird. That's the Nashville Hot
Chicken. Yeah.
That's a fun one. That was at you took that on 666, right?
We did drag week 23.
That's right.
The sick week 24 and your event, the circuit.
That's right. I knew it was in there somewhere. And then, but you've got another project too that's going to be a really fun build. That's a more drag and drive related build with a couple companies involved. So why don't you talk about that too?
Yeah, we've got a 70 satellite that just taking lessons learned from doing these events for a few years now. And we've got an 850 cage in it that Jeff Oppenheim did, big drag and drive guy, and he makes just awesome, good fitting cages. Keeping the bench seat in the front and the rear. To start life, it's going to be a big block, 505 cube, big block Mopar with a built TKX. And I just want to check the box if I really just want to have a big block stick shift car and go racing. I don't expect to need the 850 cage for that combination, but just building the car out so that it'll be the chassis that we can try to go faster in. It's bigger. It's got a massive trunk. I'm real envious when I see Rich Guido's and Raj's gigantic trunk in their GTO and the olds.
Yeah.
The big old bench seat. We just want to be comfy and have fun. And eventually, I think long term, it'll probably end up with like a Gen 3 Hemi with a turbo. But again, there's just things I want to check the box and do. And big block stick car is one of those things.
That's awesome. All right. Well, let's move forward. Again, thanks to Molly and the team over there. Not just sponsors here at the program, but also racers. George Wright races his 730 horsepower Duster that's naturally aspirated. Kind of a fun deal there. And then Eric Grilio, same thing, naturally aspirated. Stick shift 10,007 or something like that. Nova there on the right side of the screen there. Stick shift car. This thing is bad to the bone and a ton of fun to watch. So those guys at Molly, they're amazing. Mr. Eric, if you want to thank our race car friends, and we'll bring in Mr. Keith Turk. We're going to keep Chris on for a minute, though, if that's all right.
All right. Appreciate all the race car friends tuning in. We've had a ton of comments tonight, which has been awesome. Ton of comments on Chris's app, which is really cool as well. So, again, appreciate all of you guys in here watching and tuning in, and all of our race car friends members. And, of course, our sponsors. Can't do it without these guys. Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performable transmission, card change 3D, powered tube TV, WAF racing, sweet patina, and racing junk.
Yes, sweet. And hey, do us a favor real quick, guys. Hit the share button one more time as we fix and bring in Keith Turk, because I feel like this comment section is about to go wild over here on the side.
All right. And Deechworks here. Deechworks is a leading manufacturer of high-performance fuel systems and components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, fuel pumps, pump modules, fuel rails, regulators, filters, lines, fittings, and surge tanks, all engineered to support power levels ranging from 400 to over 3,000. With a focus on engineering excellence and industry-leading customer support, Deechworks continues to drive the future of high-performance fueling. And again, code DDR10 for Deechworks as well. And if you need proof that their stuff is good, Tom Bagley ran PB with a fuel Deechworks system in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they hooked him up. Big shout out to Mark Campbell over there helping him put a system together. He has that new 810, the brushless 810 in that thing, and didn't have a hiccup of any issues. All right, let's bring on.
Oh, never mind.
Tell me, talk.
I was
going to tell a story about Keith, and I need to put him backstage. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was just going to tell you the developer for Track Buddy was watching, and we now have a live countdown timer on the home screen for my countdown to the circuit and a taco button to find the tacos quicker.
Yes,
that's how in she is at taking the feedback. It is. She just texted me and said it's added.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, somebody earlier said we needed a Waffle House finder as well.
Yeah, I'm not sold on the Waffle House finder. I'm still
definitely tacos. Waffle House is pretty easy to find. Like,
right.
Waffle House has a whole thing for that. But a good taco, man, that's tough. That's tough. Clint Taylor asking what's the link there. I do have it up in the chat. It's up there. I can't drop it in the description right now, but Mr. Keith Turk, guys, if you don't know who this guy is, he's kind of a big deal. He may not say he is, and he may not agree with this, but he has helped drive more street cars to the community than anybody that we know of. I was joking earlier when we opened the show. I call him a rule maker and ball breaker, but this guy's probably one of the funnest folks you'll see out there. Busy guy. Appreciate you coming on. The last time you were on was way too long ago. It was March 15th, 2023. So almost 3 years ago to the day. And that's been too long, man.
I actually don't remember doing the first one. That's sad.
Yeah,
hey, before we get involved with all this, I do have a question for Chris.
Uh-oh.
Did this dude, did you wear bow ties and pocket protectors in grade school? just asking for a friend. That is some of the nerdiest stuff I have ever seen in my life.
But it's awesome,
Your mother
right?
did a great job.
We need hot rod nerds, man. Hot rod nerds.
I mean,
we need more of those guys.
I love it because if I haven't learned anything at 27 years of racing in Bonneville, data is king. If you don't have data, you don't know anything. And the driver will lie through his teeth. The reality is the numbers never lie. So I love the data. Love what you're doing,
Thank
Chris.
you.
It's amazing.
I learned that data was very
came
important.
With pocket protectors.
We could probably include pocket protectors so we know who the Track Buddy users are. Data solves problems.
Dude, your
and
mom
that's
says you were a nerd.
It doesn't. Data is king. Data is everything.
Yeah.
So I
it
dug it,
really
but it just reminded me of a guy that had pocket protectors and bow ties.
Well, the last time you were on, listen to the guest that you were on there with, Mr. Rich Guido. Pretty awesome guest there. He was on before you. Yep. I think they were just kicking off their podcast, and I wanted him on to tell stories, stuff like that. And how about this one? Matt Lang made the announcement for Back to the Streets, which is now going into its 4th year. Pretty awesome. So big company there, man. It was really neat. Well, with a name like Keith Turk and the people you've encountered over the years, I don't know the number of people you've come into contact with that are in just drag and drive, let's just say it's drag and drive, it's got to be 5,000 or 6,000 people that you've probably individually affected their life in some way, hopefully in the good way. And man, I went in and I had some questions. Yeah, I had some questions from people. And Kyle Bentley wants to know, how many Diet Cokes did you have today?
Oh, I have no idea. Enough.
Enough. Eric Binkson, our buddy over at Destroyer 1320, he asked, WD-40 or PB Blaster?
I'm a PB Blaster guy. I love WD-40. I mean, I've used it since I was a kid, but Blaster seems to have some stick to it that WD-40 doesn't have. So I don't know. I'm kind of a PB Blaster guy.
Yeah.
It stinks good. So does WD-40.
John O'Brien asked, how many times you yelled at Finnegan?
What year is this? Are we dealing with a particular year, or we want an overall average? What do we? Well,
Yeah,
the hardest part about that for me is that Mike is actually a dear friend of mine, and all of that stems from the incident we did on Roadkill, where I had to correct him for his inability to maintain a given speed in a particular mile that I was the race director and co-owner of. So, in any case, Mike and I are dear friends, and he's an idiot. So, you can only do so much for Lower Class Society.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Chris, am I wrong? He's a great guy. Mike is
I think he's a pretty good guy. You know him a lot better than me.
Mike is an amazing cat. Genuinely, he's a kind soul.
Mm-hmm. One thing I do want to talk about the gasser rules that put everybody into a tizzy in 2024 at Hot Rod Drag Week. He came out with the new front end on Blasphemy. Man, walk us through that conversation just a little bit. You know, high level. It doesn't have to be in depth, but.
Oh, look, I can do this one real easy. It's really simple. You see this little piece of crap car behind me? That was originally a gasser. And it was parked its last tag was in 1964 in Los Angeles. It had a double A arm. So that's what they came with. So Mike go back to a double A arm front end. So he submitted his drawings to Drag Week, Sick Week, both, and said, "Hey guys, will you approve this for gasser?" And the answer is sure, as long as it's got a nose high stance and none of the components can be used in a Mustang 2 front end. And so we approved it. And he, sent it back and showed it to us. And then a guy protested it, but I didn't actually let him protest it simply because I already knew there was going to be no. But I took his protest, which was several pages, very, very well written, very well organized, very well put together. I took that protest to the committee and I said, "Hey guys, here's what we've received about this car. Here's what we did." And the guys that I was talking to were involved in the original decision to double A arm front end. Like I said, I already knew the answer, but still, even though I first thought I knew the answer, I wanted to share it with the committee and to other people. So we got 4 people involved, and we all sat down. We all went through it, and we were all, yeah, totally. We made this decision. We're 100% happy with it. There's no part of Mike's car that can be used on a Mustang 2. So it's not a Mustang 2 front end, and anybody else that has problems with it can just get over it.
Well, and I think it definitely has the look. I mean, he definitely leans into the gasser style with the car. I mean, like it's, I feel like it fits the spirit.
He does. And I want you to understand too that the guy that posted wasn't a guy being a jerk. It was a guy who a very honest opinion and then took and drafted a very well composed protest. And again, I didn't take it for the protest. Mike wouldn't have accepted his money for the protest, simply because I already knew the answer.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Anyway, there's not a lot of protests that happen that way.
Should there be more? That's probably a bad question to ask, but should there be more stuff? Like, because
No,
like
it's a good
I know
question. It's
from
really
a
good
promoter's
question.
side, you can't watch everything, and sometimes things just get by when you're, going through 300 cars, and sometimes I'm not saying for Mike stuff, but for anything, should there be more protests?
I don't know. The reality is that when we built Dragon Drive at the very beginning, when David Freiberger designed this whole thing, he did it really, quite frankly, off of a lot of our work at Bonneville. So at Bonneville, you traditionally don't protest people. You talk to people. You go over and say, hey, guys, I'm racing in this altered class, and it doesn't really say that you can have a 12-inch spoiler, and you do. It says you can have a 10-inch spoiler. I wonder you know that before you go out there and bust your ass trying to set a record with this car, because it's not legal. And traditionally in the Dragon Drive community, we've pretty much done that throughout time for the last 22 or 3 or whatever, however many years we've been doing this for. A lot. Is Steve Atwell still on? That guy was at our first drag week. Steve is another amazing character and a dear friend. A really great guy.
Yeah.
But Steve taught us a lot about the spirit of drag week and the Sickest of the Sick award that we give. Steve was very much a part of that decision. So, but in any case, should there be more protests? I don't know. I like the way we do it now, where we just talk to each other and we're kind to each other, and that seems reasonable.
That makes sense. Well, while we're on that topic, Adam Dory actually said to ask about the spirit of, or the sickest of, nominations. What are some of your nominations that come to mind?
Are you? It's interesting. One of the things that you talk about the Sixth Spirit of Drag Week, and those awards that I champion. Those are kind of the ones that I personally get involved with. Everybody brings their nominations to me. I save and have saved every nomination ever. I have them all. They sit in a little drawer in my office and make me happy, because those are my people. They're just an amazing group of people. You can't, it's a popularity contest. So 7 of you get together and say, hey, we're gonna nominate this guy and we're gonna get him in. That won't work with me. The guy that comes out there with a truck specifically designed to help other people so that he can win the Spirit Award, that's probably not going to help you. What's going to help you is being the guy like this year it's Sick Week. Blake is in Rollins. Blake is in a wheelchair, and I didn't mention this at the ceremony, but it's hard for him to do what he does, and he doesn't think a thing about it. He just does it. Mm-hmm. And he brought his folks the very first time, and I didn't happen to see him at Sick Week. It seems as though he was doing all that on his own. And then he collected a group of people around him that just really wanted to be part of his world, because he's such an amazing guy. Those are the kind of stories that turn me on.
Yeah.
And then I take that information to Tom, to John McGann, and they make the decision on who wins.
That would be a fun pile of, like a coffee table book in time. Yeah.
It's so cool to sit there. Look, you're sitting here with all these nominations for these guys, and they're all great people. They're genuinely, those are the people. And my favorite one of all has to be Dan Nissan walking up to me, giving me a nomination for some particular guy at a drag week. And as I'm taking his nomination, we had already made the decision that Dan had won. But Dan's turning me in a nomination for somebody else, and I just thought that was amazing. It was classic who I is.
Yeah,
it was pretty badass. So
Dan's one of the most awesome dudes out there.
He really is.
Right.
Chris is too, by the way. I'm a big Chris fan.
Yeah.
For a nerd.
For a dude wearing a pocket protector.
Well, you're clearly a nerd.
Yeah, I love
Dude,
it.
are
I mean,
you
even
wrong?
his
Tell me I'm
mom said he
wrong.
was a nerd.
Yeah, thanks,
Eric,
Mom.
yeah, Eric Saffel of AFCO
Likeness
said
to him.
he said ask about his first trip to Bonneville and maybe one of his top memories of Bonneville.
Oh man, Bonneville's amazing. But first trip to Bonneville was like a kid in a candy store. I met this guy named Will Hansel, who eventually introduced me to a guy named David Freiberger, and there's a lot of crap that goes on after that. Favorite time at Bonneville clearly was the 2-cylinder, no question about it. First day, got Mike Finney's motor. We're doing whatever it was. I don't remember how this happened. Whatever it was, we blew the motor up first day. Vent tube off the carburetor came off, went through the carburetor, went into quenchia, knocked the head up, introduced a bunch of oil to the pistons, detonated a bunch of cylinders. It was a mess. So we drank beer for a day. And David's got to be there for Friday. It's Sunday. We're drinking beer, waiting on David's Friday to take the fastest top speed of the meet picture that he has to take. And, we moped around for a day. And then we decided to just drink beer and just see what it would take. And Freiberger's a savant on all the records, so he knew that the I record was, so they always drive a mile. And we figured out that we could run a fuel big block Chevrolet on 2 cylinders. And the minds
like
that
there were 2 rods and pistons in this motor? Like there were just 2 rods and pistons in
all
this
the rods
motor?
and pistons. There was only 2 left that were worth a shit. So we had,
That's cool.
I think we had to choose from, and I don't remember the ones we chose, but we literally just the whole. We had MSD there, we had Holly there, we had Keith Turk Racing Engines, Mike Copeland of Diversified Products, Steve I think was there. We just had a bunch of really, really brilliant minds with Freiberger and them trying to sort out the dynamics of what it takes to run a blown fuel big block Chevrolet with an MSD on 2 cylinders. When it lit off, I had like 6 people in the truck pushing him off, trying to start this piece of crap. And there is fuel going everywhere. I mean, it's a mess. It finally lit off. And when it pulled away from the push truck, the truck went absolutely batshit inside. It was amazing. It was really, really cool. So we went out there and he went 32.41. And so I gave him a book on tape and a nice cold Diet Coke and pushed him off to his way.
Wow.
And we set a record with 2 cylinders. Those are fun times. There's some really devastating times at Bonneville. The first 5 years of blowing up a motor after running seconds on nitrous for 5 miles, and all of that. Bonneville's an amazing place.
Yeah, that's a bucket list trip for
that's
me.
my story.
Coming up in the next year or 2 for sure.
Yeah.
You should go. Legitimately, you should go. And Chris should go, because this is a guy that actually belongs at Bonneville. Clearly.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to get all those big cars and put them away.
We talked about it at PRI and at Sick Week about Bonneville. You keep on filling me in, and Steve Atwell has juiced up the stories too, and it's definitely on my bucket list as well to get out there. It sounds like a way cool, different racing experience to get.
Steve is such an amazing guy. Steve and I, he took the Camaro, shipped the Camaro to Australia.
Oh wow,
he was instrumental in that. So yeah, Steve's had a couple of records in the car at Bonneville. So 250 in it at Bonneville. It's fun.
Wow.
So yeah,
250's fast.
And it's fun. It was PRI was amazing for me. What's that?
250's fast.
Yeah, it's zippy, as Tanya would say. The PRI deal was amazing, though. I had never shown if I don't take it to car shows or anything like that. I go to Bonneville, I race it, and that's all we really do. I really, really enjoyed doing PRI. It was amazing to see people's reaction to that piece of crap. But yeah.
Well, next question came from Kyle Calkins, and he wants to know what rules you would like to add to drag and drive events.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a really good question. All right, I was given these questions up front, and I actually didn't want to read them because I want to give you my honest reply to them. I think the one rule I want to add to sick week this week is that you must run your lowest class. We don't have that in the sick week rules. We do have it in the drag week rules. And we may be adding that back in or not. I don't know. That'll be up to, but I'll bring that up next time. I don't really have any rules that I want to add.
I mean, you're kind of like a big part of that
production car.
Yeah. So you're kind of already in that run there, but I thought that was a great question just because there's so many ways that people are doing, drag and drive style events now. So, pretty interesting question.
Yeah, it really was.
Next one here, Anthony Harville. This is a serious question here. He wants to know, did you go to school to be a professional BSer, or did you just come up through the ranks?
Yeah, I got for pilot school. That pretty much gave me the skill set.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. No, I'm if you're going to hang out in a bunch of assholes in a room, if there's 24 assholes in 2 rooms sitting side by side, and you're gonna come up with something, or you're gonna die. One of the other.
Yeah, we definitely don't want the second one.
I don't have. Yeah.
Right. Reggie Moore, you guys will remember him from Six Smokies, and his question will tell you who he is. He wondered, can we do the drag race Christmas trees? Can we hang those from the top and maybe have no wires that touch the ground?
I felt so bad for that guy. Yeah. I don't even want to say his name, but I felt bad. He was such a wonderful. He was so kind, and he was so worried about him hurting the Christmas, having to go to a hand drop and all that. What he doesn't appreciate is you can't do that shit from your couch. You can't 100%. Do that and make that mistake and have that problem from your couch. So things are going to happen. You're going to oil down the track sooner or later. As long as you get out of the racing group, nobody's going to bitch at you. That guy just made an honest mistake. He was trying to do a dry hop that would have been cool for the cameras and all the rest of it, and it just worked out poorly. But I couldn't believe what a wonderful guy that guy was, and I felt for him because he kept apologizing to everybody. And I'm like, just look, it happens. It's part of life.
Yeah. He's done a lot of drag and drives.
He's glad to have a mistake.
Yeah, he's typically a Rocky Mountain or Race Week guy, but he has driven that car from Hot Springs, Arkansas to Famosa, I think is where they raced, and back, pulling a little trailer that he camps out of, and him and Jason Schaefer and Scott Guthrie, both those guys out of Florida, did that. So pretty cool trip.
Rick Dodge here. Diapers or pans on everything?
Honestly, day one of sick week, I want to say diapers on everything to include the rest. I want diapers on the tractor. But reality, man, you think I'm kidding?
No, I've seen it.
Didn't we blow up the tractor somewhere?
Yeah, I've seen it at other races too.
We've blown up tractors at one of these events.
Mm-hmm.
They all kind of blend. I really love all of the events. I'm only involved in Drag Week and the sick events, and I love the sick events. I love Drag Week. I love the history of Drag Week. I love being part of Drag Week, an instrumental part of Drag Week, and had from the beginning. The sick events have been a lot of fun. Tom's done a wonderful job of them. I think very highly of them. Anyway, where were we?
Next one here. Pat Cook and Raj want to know about some of your motorcycles.
Oh, I have motorcycles. We did a little tour. You want to do a tour?
Sure.
We don't want to do it. You want to do a tour?
You were.
We'll just take it. We'll do a light tour. The Yamaha RD350. It's actually an R5, so it's not really an R50. BMW I'm rebuilding that got some issues. It was underwater and salt. This is my P-Jet Indian. Yeah, the one behind Modus, and it's based on LS architecture, so it's kind of cool.
Interesting.
And then back over here we have this BMW R98. That's actually a really cool bike. It's all original paint, kind of cool deal. And the old piece of crap Healy hanging off in the corner.
Man, that's such a cool car.
That's all my junk. I mean, there's more. But Healy, the Healy is an amazing piece. It's literally one of my my first car I ever restored in the 20s, and I didn't have any money, and it was there. Everything I could.
He's coming back. Hang on. It's catching up.
I'm back.
Yeah, Martin Kilroy says nice Indian motorcycle for sure. Let's run through a couple of these questions here. Eric, if you want to, real quick, that were on the screen. Derek Toady says, Keith, we would love a true stick shift class at Hot Rod Drag Week.
Yeah. I define stick shift.
Leg activated H pattern is the way we word it in the drag drive repeat series of events.
So I can't gasket. Can Mr. Gasket vertical gate in my gasser?
Not for our stuff, but maybe you can for drag week.
Friend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why you're the rule maker, ball breaker, dude.
I'm asking this question in the way because I have a really small group of people that believe the only true stick shift class is a straight 4-speed H pattern shifter. And I don't necessarily agree or disagree with them, but they're a minority. And honestly, like my Camaro has a clutchless 4-speed. I use the clutch because it's softer on the gears and softer on train. But the reality is that I don't have it. Not a requirement. I just got to pull the lever. And it's going in the next gear. So I don't know. I don't know that Drag Week will have a stick shift class. We talked about it, but I don't see it.
Interesting. And I think that you having the opportunities with SICK events, I think that can kind of let you have some of that freedom that maybe the Drag Week historical stuff may limit. Not that it's limiting, but you guys can, like Tom lets the rules have more fun. Instead of there being one like 850 class with a street race small block power rider, it's there's two classes. There's a 275 class and then a 6 street race.
Yeah. Tom own game to town, and it's totally different than Drag Week. I love it for what it is. It's very, very different. I would love to tell you that I'm a huge fan of the 275 class, but I'm not. Primarily because some of the rules within that class go into modified rules, and I think the class is capable of being way faster than it is. It's just a big, it's basically it's an unlimited, small tire class. So
yeah.
I'm a fan of the 6 week rule package, though. The 6 week rule package is a lot of fun. And you're right, I do get a lot more freedom and latitude in there. and we had more bullseye entries because I just love that class.
Dude,
I mean, the guy races for 5 days, and he has he's never out of it.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, that's my.
And then Rowdy says, is the go no go gauge still being used on tires for Super Street, or is the 315 legal no matter what width wheel it's on?
I can tell you that 315 is not legal no matter what wheel it's on. Wheel and tire combinations are really, really crazy. I won't comment specifically about Super Street, but I will tell you that generally the go no go gauge, two things. It's all 11.5 inches and 11.25 inches. And in a couple of odd classes in some of the different drag and drives, there's a 11.25 category. So, but most of them are 11.5 inches. And I use it just to determine if a wheel and tire combination is in spec. So yeah, I still carry it and still use it.
That's awesome.
If you're aiming with it, you should grab it and take a look at the thing on that tool. Is freaking.
How cool. Shift Points here says, on Six Smokies, Keith walked into a little restaurant we were eating in and looked at the waitress and said, "Do you have a water hose I could borrow?" Turns out the Econoline was boiling over in the parking lot. Man, I love that stuff. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, I fought so hard on the Econoline to keep it from overheating for months leading up to Six Smokies, and I finally kind of sorted everything out going into Smokies. And I had a plan and a program, and it was working great because I'm not in a position where I can't not show up. I pretty much have to be there. If I have to go rent a car, I have to be there. I don't have an option. So taking something that's unreliable is not really one of the things I can do. So
yeah,
the Econoline was great. Everything was fabulous, and I was having a blast, and it was fun, and But we went to that little prison, and I came back from the prison, and I mean, this thing literally went to the moon. I'm like, what in the world? It turned out the heater hose had fallen off. Oh, it seems as though you actually have the clamps. What the hell?
Yeah. Bill Alexander in here.
So anyway, that's all. Aw. Love Bill Alexander. I love Driven Oil. If you guys have not actually gone and talked to Bill, one of these, you really should, because Bill is an amazing cat. Everyone I've ever met's got an opinion about oil. Bill's is the only one that I'll actually honor. Everybody else is just running the same thing their daddy told them. You know, Bill actually has a clue. He's a tribologist, so he knows oil.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he follows tribes. It means he likes oil.
I can vouch for that. I'll be getting Bill and the team some pictures from our small block. We just tore apart, 33,000 drag and drive miles and hot rod power tours and high RPMs and beating on the car, and the bearings look new. The builder wants to reuse the bearings and put it back together.
That's awesome.
We've been running Driven Racing oil in that thing and abusing the heck out of it. So we thank those guys.
Yeah. Love you, Adam.
Yeah.
All right.
Things about people, but it's really bitching when it's honest. The dude, crazy good.
Next question here is from Nick Matajek, and he wants to know how you feel about YouTubers that aren't drag racers bringing pretty fast cars to the events.
How about inexperienced people?
It's deep. Look, inexperienced I love. I don't give a damn who you are. If you're inexperienced, I love you. I don't really give it doesn't, YouTuber or not doesn't matter to me. Fame or not doesn't matter to me. I just don't care. I'm past that point in my life where I'm by that. Who you are as a man means a lot to me. And I've had some really interesting interactions, some, I guess, pretty famous YouTubers recently, and they've all been really positive, really good. they're trying desperately to provide content without breaking rules or without doing anything wrong. They all want to be right. So I don't have a problem with it. We have a lot of people that come to these events that are bringing fast car that they're very inexperienced with. So I wouldn't isolate YouTubers in that regard.
Yeah.
I
Dan
did have
Nissen.
some blinker issues along the way, but
Yeah, it's got to work front and back. Dan Nissen wants to know about the greatest event ever, which he says Death Week. And then Ramsey wants to know when can we do Death Week again?
all right. I will tell you, Death Week's not a financially rewarding proposition, but it was mechanically one of the coolest things Tanya and I have ever done. We had the time of our life. I made a commitment because there was 76 racers to begin Death Week. I made a commitment to know everybody's personal car and name. And
Wow.
76 people. I'm an old man. It takes a lot of work. And I literally would go out in the morning with my little list of entries and go down and go, okay, his name is and his name is. So when Ramsey walked up to me, the other day at 666 or whatever, it's like, hey, Ramsey, what's going on? I knew exactly who he was because I'd memorized his name, too.
How cool.
It was fun. It was a great event. It was small. And I think, while not particularly financially rewarding, that was never really a factor. This is something Tom does. And I really, I don't care about the money part of it. It's more about, how do we create an atmosphere where people come, have an adventure, have fun, enjoy race, showing off their junk, and experience some parts of life that they would and I really admire the example.
Well, and that's what we say all the time too. Well, that's what we say all the time too about it, is that it really lets you have the opportunity to visit tracks you would never have a reason to go to. It gives you an opportunity to meet people you would never meet in another life. It just brings so many things together for the community. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I have friends
it really
that
does, and it gives men. What's that, Chris?
Nothing. Go ahead, Keith.
I think he's on a little bit of a delay as our struggle there.
Oh, I thought you were waiting on Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
All right. I've got all these crazy Canadian friends that I would have never dreamed to know otherwise, and people from all over the country, and people supporting each other, whether it's in personal or business life and contacts. And it's crazy the people you meet through getting into this. And that's why it's so addicting, I think. If you like people and value other humans and supporting people that are like-minded, drag and drive events are just incredible.
Speaking of other people,
I gotta tell you,
while we run through these
friends.
last questions real quick, I'm going to flip through pictures as you're telling us stories. Okay.
Okay.
So these are you. We'll keep at Eric. You run the rest of the questions. I'll run the photos.
Ooh, bad.
No, these are awesome.
PRI, Danny.
Yep. James Reeves sent this one here from ECTA. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I remember that.
Mark,
Eric got in the 2 Club with the ECTA.
Sorry. Yeah.
Tom Bagley asked, how much do you hate the British?
I love the British, especially Tom. Tom is cool because Tom's got a lot of passion, not a lot of brains, but he's got a lot of passion. He works really, really hard at being there,
Yeah.
That is for sure. And then I want to tell a story from Rick Steinke here, he was making comments earlier, but he said, and I don't know if I put a picture in here, but he was wondering if you were ready for a mini golf rematch.
Oh, tell him to shut up. He gets lucky. I let him win. Kind of like letting Tanya win, just because the cycle of sex seems to be better to do that. Not with Rick. What's her name?
How about this one with Danny Morrison? Dude, you look like a young man right there. This one may have come out of the archives.
Would like. Oh my God, Danny, that's a great picture.
Yeah,
poor little passport was never the same again.
Nope, I can only imagine. There's two power couples right there, that's for sure.
It was bad.
Eric, did we have any other questions in the chat there?
Cat, man, he does that every.
Yeah, he's awesome. I was asking Eric if we had any other comments in the chat there to go through. I think I've got through all the ones that were in the posts I made about what to ask you while you were here. Oh, yeah, there you go. Jeff here says, so where do you put groceries in that car? And I think he was talking about the Nomad in behind you.
Oh man, dude, that thing's got a ton of room for groceries.
Yeah.
It's actually the Nomad's actually a beautiful car. We hope it out sometime this year. I'm doing the last of the work on it today and tomorrow, and it's going to the alignment shop tomorrow. So we should be able to drive it a lot more, and it's ready.
That's awesome.
And then you had talked earlier about the guy in the wheelchair, and it's a good question here. Speed Mini here saying ways to increase accessibility and drag and drive. What's your thoughts on that?
The ADA has done a good enough job with all that. There are very few places we go that are not accessible. So, we'll make accommodations. We make accommodations for people that have issues, but on average, a guy like Blake, he doesn't have issues. He just does a drag and drive like he's a regular guy, and he is a regular guy. We have a guy, for example, a quick example of a concession. A guy happens to get sick, and sometimes he's the other guy 100% of the time. Not be known. So we'll work with people. However we have to work with people to get opportunity.
That's awesome. Sheldon Root says, I was going to swap out Keith's stash of Diet Coke to Diet Pepsi from the back of his truck on tech day, but thought better to do it later in the week. Didn't want to fail tech.
He wouldn't fail tech for one day. He would fail tech for life. Sheldon Root would just go ahead and be somewhere else. Do not show up here, buckwheat. That's like people ask, "You want? Well, can I? No, we have diet. Well, can I have water?"
Yeah.
I want to address that though. People bring me Diet Cokes. Fred, for example, 1320 brings me a Diet Coke. So he sees my hand empty, and I just feel guilty about people are. It's very uncomfortable for me. I appreciate it, but it's genuinely uncomfortable. I had a guy bring 5 cigars. I'm like, please, I have what I smoke. That's my thing, and I really don't want somebody bribing me with a cigar or a Diet Coke or anything like that. I know that sounds kind of corny, but I really appreciate gesture.
Right. One photo I did forget to put in there. I'm going to run through here and grab this real quick. Keep telling stories.
That worries me. That worries me a lot. Chris, are you enjoying this as much as I am?
I'm always happy to be on the show. But being on here with you, Keith, is like
you didn't even have a picture of your car.
Almost there. Hold on. How about this one right here?
I'm scared of what he's coming up with.
Looks like you're asleep in a van with wood paneling. What the heck?
Wow. Oh, wait, no. You have a road picture up on my screen. But I think I know the picture. Oh, yeah, that's a nice picture. I was not asleep. I was passed out. Difference in asleep and passed out. This is drunk beyond A100 that David and I bought a van together, and we went to the very last drag race at LACR, and he invited me out, and we worked with Chad Reynolds and threw a Maverick together at Spectre Performance and put nitrous on it and blew it up to smithereens on the starting line. That was our whole goal. And that night I got incredibly shit-faced drunk, and it was great fun. And that's the results right there. That's what it looks like.
That's awesome. Well, that was
so, like 2 shots. That's a great picture. Who sent you that?
Joe Greer. So he's done a lot of Joe Greer, Grier. He races a Chevy C10 truck now, but has done some land speed stuff with you. Oh, wow.
He's a Corvette guy, and he's been around for a million years. And he actually made a T-shirt out of that picture.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
Because I don't get drunk very often, it's funny.
Yeah. Hey, I can appreciate that. That's why I don't either, because I end up in precarious situations. Derek Toady says Maxton is back for 2026, but only half mile. That's pretty interesting.
And it's my side, and it's going to be a little bit different. And Tanya and I we're not we're not part of the ECTA anymore, so we still let Steve Strutt. But Tanya and I are going to go to that half. I think we're going to try to put together kind of a Maxton reunion for all the jackasses that raced at that track, which was not very good.
That's awesome.
By a lot. It was horrible.
All right. Well, let's move into just a next segment that is brought to us by Performabuilt Transmissions.
Performabuilt is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performabuilt Transmissions, the goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performabuilt doesn't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That is why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are Performabuilt.
That's right. Let's see. I can't remember if I put some photos in here. Yes, I did. So we're going to talk about 20 years of Drag Week evolution. So with you being a part of all this stuff forever, one of the first questions I have is really about with this early on, was it chaos? And then how has that early stuff shaped what you do now? Because the first Drag Week only had 8 classes, and now we have 17 or something like that.
It's interesting. The first Drag Week had, depends on who you want to talk to. Tanya says 32, I say 38. I think 38 left the parking lot. And we all did know their names by the end of the week. And happened on that first event was we met Steve Atwell in a gas station parking lot, and he's swamping out lifters in this, this lightweight Hemdart that's a $1 bazillion car. And we learned about the spirit of the event through Steve. We had a guy that was playing with the rules a bit and got caught by Kyle and all the rest of that. And that was good for Drag and Drive. That was good for the whole deal. As it's grown, it was interesting. I remember when we went to 125 cars, we'd never get through the day. And we went to a drag strip that had 2 NHRA tech inspectors that were checking everything down to bell housings and flywheels. And it was a long night. And so we've learned a lot over the years about how to run a drag and drive. And our crew is just amazing. I mean, we have an incredible group of people. Dan and Lydia, Mo, and Jim, and Brian, and Sean, everybody. The whole Tanya just got her by my crew, and honestly, they're an amazing group of people. So it's as we've grown over the years, learned how better to deal with it day out. And we learned some this that will transfer through all of the events that we do in the future. That speed things up just a little bit, and all you have to do is speed something up just a crack, you know. And I know Chris knows this for a fact in a factory. If you speed one little thing up just a little bit, it helps everything else. So we're real good about that. And it's going to sound really, it was just leaving the masking tape on the stickers and letting the racers take the masking tape off after it's set. Believe taking masking tape off is a sliver of a thing, but it was something that we were spending time on. And wow. So it was a learn. 22 years, 3 years, whatever the hell it is, 21 years, I don't know. It's been incredible. I love what David did when he started it. The manner in which it's gone. I don't think any of us could ever have realized how brilliant this has become.
It's pretty incredible.
Giving people a purpose.
Rate that it's grown. You know, early on, I mean, I'm sure you guys knew you had something good, but you know, to think that for 10 years that was it. It was one event was it. Nobody really tried much. There wasn't somebody else outside trying to put the event on. Now, guys that have never done one are hosting ones and all that kind of stuff, you know. It's pretty wild.
And it's interesting. It's interesting to watch it, and economies of scale will tell you that sooner or later some of those will drop off, because we'll find the right happy medium where every event gets filled, and every event gets filled over time, not in 2 minutes. I feel bad for some of the guys along the way, you know, genuinely, that don't get in.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
But I think we're probably, you know, 300 to 400 cars is about the max. I mean, unless you do what Matt did and you have an all-day thing, and there were 500 something cars, but it took all day. Tom Bagley saying, woke up in the middle of the night just to say hello.
So I want to talk nice, Tom. He's an idiot. Hear that. He'll appreciate it. I wore his t-shirt the other. I kind of want to go through the whole, what's the right number of cars and what's the right process. Tom's trying some new things here that a little bit frustrating. I'm a racer. I don't really get the whole big picture. Most of the time when you're racing, you're really focused on your little ball of wax, and you really don't get outside of that. And, you know, being party to the whole picture, I had an opportunity to see what Tom was trying, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. But the most part, what he was trying to do desperately was to give the racer the very best racetrack for his tire and his. And he spent a lot of time and an incredible amount of money on prepping the surface for the racer that was up. And a lot of people got frustrated with the amount of time that took. But like when we Austin, we're supposed to race 6 hours. We raced 9.5 hours. Only an hour and a half of that, just a little less than an hour and a half of that, was actually towards track. And we had a pretty good day. But on the end of the day, we didn't communicate well how we were doing the all run, and that was a mistake. But the point of it is that he's experimenting with things that are giving the race the best opportunity they can to get the fastest tracks. So I hope people appreciate that and understand that, you know, things, you try things and they work or they don't, but there you go.
That's awesome.
So next thing here is kind of talk a little bit about how over the past 20 years, tech inspection has evolved, routing of the cars, and even the trailer rules.
The whole tech thing is fascinating. You know, a guy can build 2,000 horsepower. Or I used to say 1,500, I put it up to 2,000. Guys can make a couple thousand horsepower, but they can't make a left-hand turn signal work. And I'm not really sure exactly this, but it seems to be the case. Tech is kind of really, we have gotten a flow over the years that has made it radically and people know registration, your licensure, match all in it. So then, and they're ready. People are better at the event. And then all the new guys, you have to teach them how to come to the event. And that's just at that time. And Tanya and the girls have a specific series to say to each racer at the end to make sure they know what they're doing. I know it sounds dumb. It's just all part of it. But that's the tech part of it. Trainer rules are a riot. I mean, the original trainer rules were because we didn't have any trainer rules. And the very first drag week, a guy shows up, tandem axle machine shop. And essentially, he brought a lathe and some kind of little. I had welders. He was set, and David's like, "Yeah, that's not really what I am. What I envisioned was two guys getting in their car and riding across the country. You know, Larry Larson deal, no trailer, no nothing." He says, "But we're going to have trailers because that's all part of this, and you know, we got to figure it out." You know, so he came up with the 142 cubic foot, and you could have a 4x5 haul trailer, whatever. So the rules have evolved, and years ago we were rewriting the Hot Rod Drag Week rules, and David came up with let's just blow off this trailer rule bullshit. And I'm like, I don't think you can do that, or you're going to end up with a machine shop again, and that wasn't what you had envisioned, and that's not what you had in mind. You don't want to have a guy bringing a complete race car shop with all of the tools and parts for everybody's vehicle. So how about we just single axle rule? And now it's truly a single axle rule. I mean, it's just, that's all there is to it. Just bring us with a single axle, and we don't care.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it's open again. The 4x8 rule, I think, probably got some folks, but I think the smaller trailer, more creativity is awesome.
It is creative. It is creative. The old 142 foot roll really did have some just. But honestly, if you look at Chris, you didn't even run a trailer, did you, Chris?
No, I did.
He's got, but it's small. I mean, it's like
small.
Yeah, it's tires mounted on the outside. Basically what, like a smidge bigger than a motorcycle trailer is what you'd say?
Yeah, I've had two. I did my first ones with no trailer, and that trunk and that Firebird, not real big, packing everything we could in there. Then when we did out west for 666, we had a kind of a home done little kit trailer that was wooden deck with tires strapped on top. And then we just came across a deal on one of those kind of aluminum flip top trailers, real similar to what Rich Guido runs behind the GTO. So we've kind of evolved to, we're my pocket protectorness, Keith. I want to have the most efficient pack to make the most enjoyable day of getting the stuff in and out and on and off the car. And ultimately, I'm lazy. I don't want to mess with the packing and unpacking the car. I want to have an efficient set of tools. So it's evolved for us. Lessons learned, and just trying to make it a good and easy day.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than loading and unloading every day. Reload, unload, change over, reload, get to the hotel, unload, get to the track the next morning, unload. No.
Man, the the stuff you see too, when you see other people's trailers, like, yeah, race cars are awesome. And I appreciate seeing all speed of cars, but you start looking at how much time guys spend on trailers and where, well, wow, that's a good idea. Or, ooh, I wouldn't do that. Or, boy, that thing looks like it's going to flip over. Or, you know,
seen a couple of those.
Yeah, it's really fun seeing what people build.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? I thought this was a good question too. What do racers today take for granted that didn't even exist in 2005?
The suspense.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know.
Yeah, I would think tires.
What's that?
You know,
What'd you say, Chris?
Tire technology's come a long way. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a lag between when we ask and it gets to your side. So he was like, the suspense. We're hanging on your every word, Keith.
Honestly, I don't have a lot of words for that. The tire technology is a little bit different. I remember Larry Larson actually running slicks on the street.
No way.
He's an idiot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think generally springs, valve geometry, all the rest of that has really developed. I think there's a lot of products like the gear benders that have really come a long way. Drag and drive. I think there's a lot of products that just like the oil. You know, they're people that just fall naturally into supporting this type of environment, and as about them, obviously increase our endurance and durability.
Well, and one thing that's great about the growth that we've seen in the community is it allows companies to be able to spend some money on that and give some engineering time to, making better valve train pieces and transmission pieces and torque converters and all that kind of stuff. There was one question somebody had here just a second ago. I just saw it. Jack Weatherford says no trailer would make for a great True Street class. I think this could be kind of fun if you guys do a no trailer award, right, at Drag Week, quickest without a trailer.
Only at Drag Week. We have a sealed hood and no trailer rule.
Yeah, some of the sealed hood stories are pretty good too. And then Brandon Holmes here says,
the average sealed hood guy is like model.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Absolutely. Driving on the street.
Oh, did we lose Keith?
I've lost you.
Yeah.
For some
I don't
reason.
know. He may be
you
getting
still
the
there?
folks. Yeah, we're still here. We can hear you.
Hello.
Just can't see you.
Oh, okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, radio.
Right. But yeah,
I lost my.
Rich Guido here saying valve train, specifically spring rates. Man, yeah, valve train technology has come a long way.
Yep.
Just from guys putting, like Chris, 30,000 miles on a street motor, and then Brandon.
The big deal is that nobody had ever actually valve train before. This is all new to valve trains. Even NASCAR only runs 500 miles, so we're asking things of valve trains that have never been done before. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure. Brandon Holmes here says, speaking of switching over, do y'all see racers running drag radials on the drive without driving to race tires? Oh yeah, a lot. 30% of the race people do, or 20% probably do that.
I have a really simple one. The GPS that's provided with the route, man, that takes the fun out of arguing with your co-pilot and missing turns and trying to read directions. If you're running, my first year doing Drag Week, I was solo, no co-pilot, and reading that thing and that Firebird while I'm trying to make the turns. I mean, that's a whole essence of fun that gets missed out with just all the digitization of the route.
Yeah, Chris, what do you think? Should that?
Yeah, the
because
routes
I
are
really
really
struggle with that on the circuit.
I personally, I don't know. I think that's kind of the adventure and the fun is having to read the directions, and it's even better when you guys have like an accidental typo or wrong turn or something in there. Then you get a text that, hey, there's there was a mistake on the instructions. And I remember one of my first ones, and I think I led a line of people way down a wrong road, and I didn't have a trailer. And so for me to turn around was no big deal. Next thing I know, I see 5 or 6 guys behind me with trailers trying to turn around, who I think all followed me into the darkness on my wrong turns. Just a whole different part of the adventure, off the racetrack adventure.
well,
Yeah, I
because
like
Tanya's got all the girls with her. I don't ride with Tanya because that's a cackling mess. The reality is that genuinely, I ride by myself a lot, so I'll be following these racers, and all of a sudden Chris is wandering off among society, and I'm just following happy as I can be because I don't have a clue. I'm not following directions. I'm following racers. Figure they know what the hell they're doing. They don't.
When Matt Blasco was my co-pilot, we were arguing like a couple. It was the first time that we had met each other. It was it was a blind date the way that we became pilot co-pilot. Friends set us up, and I was behind Tom Bailey, and I followed Tom, and Matt's telling me, no, we're supposed to turn. I said, well, Tom's going that way. Why? We're going that way. He said, Tom doesn't know where the he's going. And it turns out Tom did not. We followed Tom into the darkness, and all got stuck turning around and getting a whole bunch of cars. It's funny. You never know who to trust when you're following someone. They might be just.
And hey, how about the single biggest fear ever is you're just following, you have no idea where you're on the route, and then that person turns into a gas station. You're like, I don't need gas, or you get stopped at the stoplight and you're in front of 5 people, and everybody else just keeps going. You're like, oh shit, where are we on this thing? Yeah.
Or the one guy who deviated off the route chasing tacos, and everyone's wondering, was that the route? Am I supposed to turn? Am I supposed to go that guy? And yeah. That's part of the fun, man. The adventure of navigating this country in a loud car with friends to checkpoints and to the next racetrack.
Yeah. Eric, you had a question a while ago.
Parts of the country, you
It said something about the cheap car challenge.
Yeah, this one here from Jeff Kirchick. He said, Keith, what do you think about a budget class, like a $3,000 or $5,000 challenge in drag and drive, which we're starting to see more and more of those?
I love the idea. I love the concept, and I think Chris can vouch for me on this. I treat every racer the same, poorly. I love every race. I don't care. Whether you've got a 20-second car, a 10-second car, a 5-second car, every racer's the same. The 5-second car is going to see a lot more of me because he's going to be in quarantine or impounded, so I'm going to see a lot of that guy. But the reality is that I love every one of them. How do I judge whether or not that's a $3,000 car? I watched Derek and David do Duckade drags, and I thought, man, what a mess that is. The only way you can judge that is to have it as a true claimer class. So you have to give up your car for $3,000 if you enter that class. And I'm going to be out there with a stack of money at the end of the race. That car, I'll take that car, I'll take that car, and I'll take that car. And I will load them up and take them home and sell them for the $10,000 you spent on them.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of a cheap car challenge. Go ahead.
You just got to have I believe in the claimer rule. With the circuit, we're going to implement this in 2027, whether they want to or not. But I feel like, so we do the circuit for charity. I feel like if we set a $3,000 limit on your budget, that car should be in an auction at the end of the trip. Minimum bid starts at $3,000. You can bid on your own car, and then anything above the $3,000 is split 50-50 between the racer and the charity. That way, if the racer wants to win that car and it comes up for $5,000, they're only paying another $1,000 because they're donating their money to the charity. So they're already ahead because they've already done that work. But if they want it, they're going to have to pay for it. Because if somebody else wants it, I mean, it's on. I just feel like the claimer rule is the only way to keep that sane, unless you do it like Cletus, where you have your 4 friends that are going to do it with you, and you're going to critique everything and you're going to do everything right there. But to have a group of 10 cars that show up day of, they go, oh, dude, I only have 2,800 in this thing. And you're like, yeah, right. Oh, no, I had those parts. I traded something for that. It's just too hard.
Yeah, your 69 Z28 with a DZ3 4-speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You paid $1,200 for it in 1978.
Right? Yeah. And the hard part of it, fair market value is what these guys are getting into now is the struggle there too, because like if you can show that you proved that you can do, that you gave $1,200 for that car through messages and things like that on Facebook Messenger, through sales and things, it's very tough. So the claimer rule kind of takes out a lot of that for that simplicity. Anyways, okay, well let's move on.
Look, I love the concept.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say you go ahead because I cut you off there. Sorry.
I don't know. I love the concept of having an inexpensive class. I mean, a number of years ago, I took 4 junk 550 Hondas that I built over a period of about 6 months. And 3 buddies, one of the guys that runs the Dragon Drives with this, Paul Whalen, we rode the bikes to Mexico and back. And when we were done with the trip, after 11 days on the road, I had less than $2,000 in all motorcycles and the trip.
How cool.
I really love cheap shit. So it makes me smile when I do shit that the van of, it's not always about money. It's about, doing stuff that just makes you happy. And frankly, I think if you do a drag and drive with 3,000, it's going to make you happy. It's going to work you mechanically. Derek Bieri, I mean, that dude with Vice Garage, he's doing some amazing stuff with no money. He spends some money on some of his cars, but the reality is that I love all of that. So I love the idea of a cheap car challenge. I don't know how to do it other than the claimer rule. And honestly, I think we would get some guys to come out and do this the first time. And not everybody's going to be a 7-second guy the first time they come out. So it would be fun.
This is a good topic conversation here, or comment here. Ranger 50 TT says,
I think
cheap.
I
just keep interrupting. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Ranger 50 TT says, or 50 twin turbo probably says, cheap car challenge, ban the Nelsons. Those guys are, they're awesome. They are awesome at this kind of stuff. They do the grassroots motorsports deal, $2,000 challenge, whatever.
Andrew's been an old friend. I've known Andrew for many years, and he does low buck stuff because it makes him happy. And frankly, he's a very skilled mechanic. So it's interesting to see crap that they do. I had another thought though about the cheap car deal, and that is that I don't know that we can base it on ETs. I think we're going to have to base it on like an improved ET over the week, or maybe more of the DYO thing on the cheap car challenge. I don't know that I want to do it on a pure ET basis, because the twin turbo guys can build for $3,000. There's a bunch of junkyard twin turbo guys that can build a Billy Badass double throwdown race car for $3,000. And I don't know that that's the intent of this whole thing. The whole intent of this is to get anybody out there and give them a reasonable opportunity. So either a bullseye or a DYO sort of thing like it does.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's keep that topic, and I want to move into the next segment because I think that actually leads into a really good conversation. So Performer Built Transmissions, thanks Ryan and the team up there. GM Transmission, I mean, they put a 4L60 in the 7s in the quarter mile. They know what they're doing. If you need something built to the hilt, those guys are the ones to go to. AFCO Racing Products, these Eric Saffel is the man. Rex French at a lot of events, you guys will know, or Rex Merritt, sorry, you'll see them out there. These guys are great supporters of the drag and drive community. And racers know when you want performance that wins, you want AFCO. From shocks and suspension to cooling brakes and more, AFCO Racing has been helping teams go faster for over 30 years. Built by racers, for racers, check out the AFCO Advantage and follow them today on social media for the latest in performance parts. AFCO Racing, built to win. So we joked about this a little bit earlier, but I think it was before the show. I was talking about looking for a slow car, or I hate to say slow because this is not a slow conversation, but I want to give a big shout out to our boy. Oh God, I had his name written down here and I deleted it earlier. Oh man, I'm sorry. Circuit Racer went down to Sick Week, had a great time. This car ran like 12s, and it was awesome. So the question is, why are slow cars just as important as the really fast ones?
You can start at 7 seconds. The average guy just doesn't do that. The average guy starts at 20 seconds. You don't build another generation of drag drive people by running 7-second cars only. The unfortunate part about that, it's interesting to spectators, and although I'm not sure that's exactly true, I think all of the cars are interesting to spectators. It's educating our spectators on what to expect. I'm interested in that guy because I've never met before, so I'm very interested in meeting that guy. The whole deal is that it takes a lot of people to make a field of 400 cars. And if the only thing you have is 9-second cars and below, and maybe we should have that drag and drive. I don't know, but
yes,
I like variety. The Jessies of the world make it right.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, and I would love to do some research. Brett Crosby, dead comment. Thanks, Rodney. Sorry, Brett. Man, I talked to him and his dad for a while too at Bernie's, and man, I can't believe I forgot his name there. Sorry. We're 2.5 hours in here. It's my only excuse, but it would be interesting to see how early on how many guys came in at 12 seconds and upgraded those cars. They got them into the 10s, they got them into the 9s, and they were in the 8s, and then they went crazy with the cage or bought a different car and went faster with this next car. We're really in an interesting spot that drag racing hasn't been in a very long time, because we're 20 years into drag and drive, and that is just to get the stuff worked out, right? It's just to get to where we've gotten so far. With all of the new formats that are coming into drag and drive, with all of the new people that are coming in, I feel like people that run, Chris, I mean, you have fun in your car. We showed the video earlier here. You and Raj have put tens of thousands of miles on your cars. Like, you can't do that with the 7-second car. You can do that with a 8 to 12-second car and have fun doing it. You can leave a stoplight next to each other and let black marks across the entire intersection, right?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy my cars, and I'm in I'm envious of the guys who are going real fast at times, but really I have personal goals and things I want to do. And as long as I continue to improve, like, that's the thing. When I go to an event, I want it to be better than the last one. And eventually I know you hit a wall, and then, it becomes, do you have the budget to build it better, or do you do a different car or change the drivetrain? But, I don't know. I enjoy, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy going down the racetrack, but I enjoy being out on the roads, having fun and seeing people. If it becomes too much work for me, it wouldn't be fun, which I don't know if that means that the car will always stay slower than some people would prefer, but to me, I just want to drive fun cars with fun people and go down the racetrack, go somewhere where you can legally go fast. And, yeah, I don't know. If you start comparing yourself to everybody all the time and trying to keep up with fastest cars out there, you start feeling bad about what you've got going on and start spending silly money. So just do what makes you happy. If you start with that old Firebird there, came out of a field, it was my uncle's old car, sat for 30 years, took it to drag week because the motor in the CUDA wasn't done in time and ran 14 twos. And then we ran sick week and got, I think, 13 nines. Then we went to the circuit and we ran 13 fives in it, just making incremental improvements, which I know when you start off that slow, it's easier to make gains. But that's the fun for me, is figuring out how to refine what you've got, work within your budget. If all you can afford is to learn how to tune a carburetor better and tweak the shocks, then do it the best you can and make it faster. Yep. And, just have fun, man. If you're not having fun at these, then what's the sense of going through all this work?
Well, and one of the other comments here in my notes is that exactly what you said. I feel like slow cars and bringing people in is what keeps us from just becoming a race to the wallet, basically. Like, how much can I spend to be at the very front I don't know. I mean, I know everybody's competitive and everybody wants to go faster than the next dude, but like, man, I just feel like we need more 10 and 12-second cars to come into this, because those guys are going to have a ton of fun. Those guys are going to have a blast. They're going to cruise in their car. They're not going to, and I'm sure there's some 7-second cars that are reliable as hell and they don't break or anything like that. But that's got to be a way different feeling, knowing that you've got a $3,000 set of valve springs in there compared to the, $300 set of valve springs I have in the old truck.
I also, my personal opinion too is to step through things. If you've got the money to build a 1,500 horsepower motor, maybe it doesn't mean you should. I feel like there's steps to get there to learn how to build it. You can't just buy something, in my opinion, for the most part, and always have it be reliable. There's steps to get there, and I think that's something that people should do. I want to get my NHRA license at some point and run, 9s and 8s someday, but I'm in no rush. I'm having fun and want to get there, and I want to progress to it, not just buy some whopper motor and stick it in and then have the growing pains and maybe being the guy that oils down the track because I rushed into it not knowing about, the best parts and pieces and way to build it. But that's my personal opinion as a slower than 10-second guy right now.
Raj says, drag and drive. It's about tacos and tacos and burnouts, man. I mean, let's be honest. That's what we live for.
That's right.
Rodney Reeves. I used to be.
Yeah,
I just need to be the fastest of my buddies. That's awesome.
Chris is well past it. The end 20 is. And I love watching.
I was hoping his audio would catch up.
I think he's got.
Oh man, is Keith being nice to me and it lagged out there for a minute? I didn't even get to hear.
Yeah, that's why the universe won't let that happen. Sorry, Keith, can you say that again? It lagged just right there in the middle.
I'm assuming you can.
Man, I don't know what is going on. Like, why all of a sudden it just won't catch everything he's saying. Okay, let's move forward. It says, how do we make 10 and 12-second cars cooler for people to want to come watch?
We educate about who they are and what they're doing and what their goals are. And some of it's communicating with Derek on what they are and what they're trying to do. Literally, any spectator is going to enjoy this a lot more the more informed they are. And they informed, or Derek doesn't. Make sure you take days to let Derek what your effort and what your goals are about. I know he brags a lot about Chris when Chris is racing because he knows a lot about Chris. The reality is that he doesn't know about a lot of the racers because they're quiet. Get out there and let the people know who you are and understand what your goals are. And we can show the crowd. Then
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Cooper Bogetti said basically the same thing the other day. It was like, it's not the promoter's job to promote you as a racer. He's promoting the race. You know, if we want people to care about people, that we need to tell them. And so I think a lot of folks put Derek or Adam Dory, Brian Loans, Freiberger, all those guys like up on this. They're scared to talk to those guys. They're scared to send a message to those guys of what the car's doing. But if you're at an event, writing on the back glass is a great way to send a message to the announcer, but also like send them a message on Instagram or Facebook or something like that, and kind of give a detail. Hey, my name's Mike Narks. I'm in car 342.
but it works. What the hell fun? And
yeah.
I will tell you that the best thing that I've ever seen as far as the announcers are concerned is Freiberger tries really, really hard to be part of the tech day so that he can take notes on cars and people and combinations. And he really wants to know and understand the different drivers and what their efforts are and what their goals are, and a little bit about their story, so he can tell. He's done this, kind of tried to convince to the guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Faster Ranger Motorsports here. Everyone doing these events are just regular car people. Get out and talk to everyone. I think that really is one of the coolest things. Is like, there's been a lot of times, Chris is successful in his life, and there's a lot of times where I don't even know what he does day to day. We're car buddies, we're race car friends, and that's all that matters. Hate we lost Keith there, but man, the audio tough on that one, so I'll have to go back and try and clean some of that up. But Chris, how many friends do you have that you find out what they do like in 3 years and you're like, no shit, really? I'm in that business.
Yeah, no, I mean, the people you meet, all walks of life. And, I like old Mopar. So Mopar guys come and talk to me, which, is good and bad. You got to watch out for us. But, you never know who's watching your car or might have something similar, or their dad had one or something. And they come and find you and they're like, oh, man, I had a car like this, or that people relate to whatever you have. Rich Guido's on the chat here. I mean, I usually pitted near him. The amount of people that come and shake his hand and just love to see the miles that he puts on that car, and not to mention that it's incredibly fast and reliable. What 200,000 mile mark he hit on Sick Week? But
crazy, dude.
People hone in, the spectators, and see something catches their eye, and they come and find you in the pits, and that's fun. Like, that's part of it, is talking to people at the events. And I mean, not just the other racers, but it's pretty cool when people come and they want to see your car, talk to you about it, and sometimes it can seem distracting, but I mean, that's what it's about, is talking to people, having fun.
Well, and a lot of times, you're sitting there talking to that guy, and he's like, man, I've got one like this at home. And then in 2 years, he's like, man, I talked to you at Sick Week 2024, and we went home and started working on the car, and now we're out here doing this. Derek Putnam, says Derek Putnam has an 11-second car, and he just took home a big win over the weekend, kicking ass, taking names. He said he wants to share your story. Tell him. It's so cool, man.
And letting other people know too that, like, your car doesn't have to be perfect. To be like, people, get out here and drive your stuff. I mean, make it reliable and safe. Don't get me wrong, but do your best. But some people, it's like they have these shelved projects that it's not perfectly to the nth degree. Then they come and see you and they look at yours and they're like, oh, I could probably get out here and do this. It's fun hearing other people like get inspired from seeing the people out on these events.
Yeah, I think as people drive their stuff and get out and about, it really helps folks that are at home that have bought. I'm not going to call out Philip Bursey, but he bought 3 turbos while his car was being rebuilt, and every time he bought a turbo, he went up in fuel system, and then he oh man, this will be better for me. I'll go faster, and then had to go up in fuel system, or had to go up in rear end, or had to change the torque converter, things like, or clutch. So like you end up with like making these dude, get that son of a bitch running and go have fun and build that other big boy stuff later. Like, you don't have to do that at the beginning. Let's get it going and get running.
It also cracks me up with, a lot of times if you're pitted around some of the real fast cars and you see people who come up and they may have a car that's that fast, but it's a trailer car, that it goes to the racetrack, it goes down the strip, and then it gets towed home. And when watching those people interact with the guys running 7s and 8s and 9s, those are entertaining conversations to catch. It's like, oh my God, you drove it here?
That's awesome. Yeah, 100%. And Keith, we're talking about the conversations people have with like fast cars, 7, 8, 9-second cars, and their car at home maybe is a high 10-second bracket car, and they don't understand how people drive it on the street. How many times do you see that?
That's how Larry Larson won 5 drag weeks, is he drove his car every freaking day. He drove it all the time. So pretty common.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, we're kind of winding the show down. We've gone almost 3 hours here, which is a little longer than normal, but man, there's just so much knowledge within Keith Turk's brain that I feel like we got to get some of it out. If we're going to have you on every 3 years, that's not enough, So folks that are watching this, just a couple more questions we'll ask Keith as we kind of wind down the show. The one thing I want to, somebody asked, and I didn't put it in the early conversation, but did you foresee your current situation where you're, kind of almost doing this full time with the amount of events that you and Tom are doing with the SICK events, and then of course Drag Week and things like that? Did you see your life progressing like this? Was this a goal?
No. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. My wife loves it. Tanya's.
We love your wife.
And well, you should. She's an amazing woman. She does an amazing job with all of this. But no, it's been crazy. And honestly, it's kind of like I get to go hang out every month or two, and with a group of friends that you've developed over a lot of years, and it's just fun.
Yeah, I'll agree. It's really, I say it all the time. Drag and Drive changed my life in a time when I feel like I needed it. I lost my dad in February of 2020. We know how hard COVID was to get, in the early days of that, and got sent home from, day job in the office with 10 people. Now I'm at home by myself, working. Obviously I didn't get fired or anything, but, to find this. And then sadly that year Drag Week canceled, but it opened up for Race Week, which was Rocky Mountain 2.0. And without that, I wouldn't be doing this right here. So, it's been incredible. It's one of the best car communities. I feel like I've never met the kind of people that I've met doing Drag and Drive anywhere else in any of the stuff I've ever done. So it's pretty awesome to be able to keep the culture that you guys laid out, 20 years ago now, 21 years ago, is pretty impressive. So, just round of applause for Keith Turk and the team and the insight that they had to, really, rule making and ball breaking down over there, getting it done. So
it's been fun.
It's funny when you tell people about like, oh, my friend's going to stop in town. How do you know this guy? I met him at a race once, and then I see him once a year, and you're going to let him come to your house and use all your tools and fix it. Well, yeah, he's got to get to a race. Yeah, how do you know? Until you've been like in here doing it's funny. You may not see the people often, but when you do, it's all hands on deck to help each other.
That is an amazing statement, Chris. It's Raj stopped by on his way to SICK Week, and Alex and Brad stopped by on their way out of SICK Week, and we enjoyed that. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is just, when I walk up and I see you and Lily, it's just instant, friendship that's got value for, and same with Michael. I see Michael and it's like, hey, dude, what's happening? And it's like we hadn't not seen each other in 3 months, and next thing you know, we hadn't lost anything.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's really one of the best groups out there. And man, the cars are getting cooler. The people are getting cooler. Eric was saying earlier in the show, talking about Thomas West. That guy was a stick shift racer, didn't know anything but all out stick shift performance, man. How fast can I go every time I'm at the track? And, he did 6 Smokies, and now he's like, how do I get to another event? How do I get to another? Like it only takes one. I mean, we had, Ron Rhodes. I mean, that's a big name in Radio versus the World stuff. He was at Drag Week. Ned Dunphy's racing at World Series of Pro Mod. I mean, these guys that are high-level racers are out here enjoying drag and drive. And I think that's probably where we're headed that next, in this decade that we're entering right now, which is the 3rd decade of drag and drive events.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what's next. I really don't. I mean, it's been so amazing. We've just been kind of like hanging on by the tail, making improvements as we go. But yeah, your numbers are pretty close to right. I think honestly that number 300 is right.
Yeah, it lets enough people make passes that they need to, right? Yeah. So, we grew to 200 this year. We've had 150 cars the last 2 years at the circuit, and that's a great number because really by the end of a 5-hour open track window, there's just a few people left that are trying to get that last number in. But we're going to 200 this year. We've got the first 2 days at the tracks, we've got 6 hours, and then the last day we've got a 5-hour window. So going to be kind of interesting, but with attrition, I think we'll still be okay.
Yeah.
All right. Closing thoughts. What haven't we asked about that you want to talk about?
I'm good.
Chris?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on the show, and then sharing the screen time.
Like a guest co-host, bro.
I do. I
have to tell you, when I found out Chris was going to be on tonight, I was just tickled. Between him and Doug Cook at Motion, I'm just fascinated with American technology and what we as Americans are doing to build things for ourselves. And the 3D printing world has opened up some amazing opportunities for people with brains to come up with some really cool stuff. So, the Motion Raceworks, just their growth has just blown me away. I'm genuinely impressed with that company. Along with 1320, I've watched Kyle come from being a kid, just out doing videos because they were kind of cool, to becoming a brand. What a treat to watch your friends become successful. Same with you, Michael, in this podcast. It's a deal, and I'm happy to be here. Like Chris, I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah, we definitely need more Keith Turk time. We got to have him on more often. Especially when he talks good about us. We got to keep him late at night. Okay, guys, we're going to put you backstage. I just want to, again, before we do that, I want to say thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you for spending the time. Chris has now been on here for 3 hours. Keith has been on here with us for 2, but was backstage for the first hour of the show. So these guys have spent a ton of time. Man, it just shows how much more we need of this Drag and Drive podcast, this conversations within the Drag and Drive community. So bring it on, man. So
cool.
All right, guys. Hey, stay with me. Don't leave yet. I want to talk to you for 3 or 4 minutes after the show, but we got to get this thing shut down. Bro, what a night, man.
Absolutely.
3 hours. I didn't expect us to do that. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. Good stories for sure.
Yeah. Great time. Want to say thanks to those guys again. Appreciate AFCO Racing Products and all their stuff that they do for us and with us. It's going to be kind of fun going into this next year. Got to hang out with Eric Saffel and Rex Merritt down at Sick Week. Got to see them down there. I think they're going to be at Havlicks again, which will be a fun event for us to go back to. That's a great time there as always. And Mr. Eric, you want to send us out?
Yeah. Again, thanks to everybody that hung in here tonight with us. We had really good numbers tonight, viewers, especially with the Drag and Drive Facebook page not streaming tonight. So really, really happy with everybody that's been in here. Appreciate all of our race car friends, all of our race car friends members, everybody that made comments tonight, questions for Keith. And it was just a overall good night, and appreciate everybody. and our sponsors. Again, can't do this without these guys. Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performer-Built Transmission, Car Change 3D, Power Tube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And give us a quick update on what we're going to have next week on the show.
Oh, dude, I'm excited about episode 140. We've got Bradley Arnold on here, who set a new record in the class, set new PBs for his Grand National and all that stuff. That'll be a great conversation. And then Trevor Brandon in here in the world's fastest Nissan GTR Dragon Drive GTR in here talking about Sick Week and just basically just destroying records and having fun. So that'll be another great show. That'll be right here next week. That is February 25th for episode 140.
All right. See you guys.